All right, and I am live. Good evening, everybody. It is Saturday evening on the Rancho, November 9th, 2019. Who shall be first in the gate? Will it be JJ Superstar? Hard to say. Let's see. Who shall be first on the chat? Let me go on to live chat. Check here. Bam. There we go. And there it is. Mindy May, first in the gate. MB, how you doing, sweetie? Nice to see you. The beautiful MB Breas from the great country of Belgium, lately of Austria. Hope you're doing well. Hello, Alan Gold. What's going on? McGregor, Lovable Road. I knew Alan Gold would be here. It's open chat Saturday night. It's time to get the balls busted, right? Because that's what Alan Gold does. Hello, spirits. Nice to see you, honey. Big rosy kiss for you. Thank you, Sandy. How are you doing this very nice evening? Hello, Mark Handler, Jen, my wonderful mod here. Nice to see you, mods. Yeah, let's do this. Come on, Alan Gold, troll me tonight. Come on, man. Oh man. I've missed Alan Gold. I guess he's out of lockup over in North Korea for a couple weeks or whatever. Hello, Flan. Nice to see you. Long time no see. Lolly Cunningham and Lovable Rogue. Nice to see you. Yeah, I haven't seen Alan Gold in a hot minute, man. I thought I had him on my block list, but being as he's a sneaky North Korean trained agent, well, you get what you get. I know I'm like weekend leave program. Yeah, I'm drinking Bud Light tonight. I had it left over from the party. Normally I would go out when I'm having a party and I would make sure I had Budweiser for Bobby and Bud Light for the boss, and then I would pick myself up some Michelob Ultra Light. But I decided, hello Jay Holly, I decided tonight to this time just to slum a little bit, and the boss and I would drink the same. Rosie, do you still use your Rosie O'Kelly channel? Last week I made the decision this channel had been on the back burner for a while, the Rosie Murphy channel, and I wanted to push this channel to the forefront recently here. So, for the next week or two, maybe longer, I'll be doing my uploads to this channel. Bobby's doing pretty good, Flan. Hello, Wendy Johnson. How are you? Nice to see you. Good evening to you. Cat just KSI just won the Logan Paul KSI fight. If anyone cares, hello hippie peace. I'm out of the loop, honey. Tell me who won the World Series of Poker this year. Yeah, so I've decided to really push that. I did get my monetization back on the channel, so I'll be doing some content. Because I haven't really put up any monetized content. I have a lot of good stuff. I have a video about W.C. Fields, rarely seen video that's been very well liked on the channel, and some other things. There you go, Wendy Johnson. Spirit says Bobby looked good. Bobby looked good. Bobby had battled pneumonia. And you don't want to be super skinny when you're battling something like that. Bobby hardly eats anything. Mark Handler says, did you feel any tremors? I did not. Completely offset, but your home is always beautiful, clean, and inviting. Well, I'm going to tell you, Mindy May, it's a lot more clean and inviting now. There's nothing like the boss and Janet coming to town. Because little known fact about Janet likes to go around and kind of white glove. White glove everything, and Missy Jen's like, she's got to have things perfect over here on the rancho. And I didn't have the heart to tell Marshall that the boss and Janet, I made him no, it's not monetized, Susie. I made him believe that the boss and Janet were going to sleep in the Shine Shack, so he cleaned that Shine Shack within an inch of its life, because he's very fearful of Janet. No, the Rosie O'Kelly channel is not monetized, Susie. It's a process and it's a process of deciding what things I want to keep and what things I don't want to keep on the channel. And there's a lot of history there. There's a lot of good history. And a lot of that is stuff that I don't really feel like at this point in time that I want to eliminate that. Yeah, Elvis and Janet had never met before. Brooke says, loved all the fishing videos. So fun watching. Thank you. Rosie keeps it clean for the bags of bugs. Well, I've had a bag of grain in there. It's probably 2 years ago I bought that bag of grain, and it's just sat in there. And I guess I should have removed it from the Shine Shack, but we finally figured it out that it was producing bugs, so I got it out of there. Hey J.A., did you put a coin acceptor on the shower? Hey Susie, I did one better than that. I got a low flow shower head. It's going to reduce the usage tremendously out there. So, are the fires far away? They are, Flan. The cool weather has has allowed the firefighters to fully contain the fire. Lavender, how you doing? Thank you for the fishing streams. It was fun to watch. Yes, it was. It was fun to do it. Sandy said our mother always white gloved our home, so I always scrub my white household down daily with Lysol. I'm a Lysol fanatic. You know what? Anybody know what Lysol was originally used for? And you're going to find it very hard to believe. Let's see how smart my side chat is here with Lysol. One of the things that it was originally promoted for, Lysol. Let's see if anybody knows out there. I think it was Lysol. Let me get my, hold on a minute. I gotta look something up. Let's see, feminine hygiene. Thank you, Susie Meatloaf. Believe it or not, Lysol, the most popular brand of douche was Lysol, an antiseptic soap whose pre-1953 formula contained Cresol this is when women use Lysol as birth control. Yeah, what is the most reported in some cases cause inflammation, burning, and even death. By 1911, doctors had recorded 193 Lysol poisonings and 5 deaths from uterine irrigation. Despite reports to the contrary, Lysol was aggressively marketed to women as safe and gentle. So, can you imagine that? Can you imagine that? Few people know. How you doing, Kim? Hey, Scottish Carlos. Few people know that Lysol at one time was very aggressively promoted as a feminine hygiene product. And it's like, whoa, whoa. Yeah, I was going to say, ouch. I can hear the ladies kind of like, ooh, ooh. Yeah, never knew that. See, you always learn interesting stuff here on the, you can see some of the early advertisements too. Yeah, wash your kuka and problem solved. Dang. I've had to spray a few broads down with Lysol before. Pass out. Scottish is like, hell to the mouse toes is like, now my knees are stuck together. I mean, I just can't even imagine. There were so many products that were so, who knew? Will you hoist it open and spray it up there? Not me. Oh no, Lavender's like, stop. I just thought it's one of those interesting fun of facts. I like cleaning with bleach. It kills any germs. So, yeah, coca leaves used to be in Coca-Cola. Exactly. It was, hey, how you doing, Fabiano? I find it very fascinating, the history of some products. Hexol is still used for elderly female patients in nursing homes out west. Woo, I didn't need to know that. Hey, guess what today is, residents? It's Hexol Day. How you doing, Amy? Nice to see you. Yeah, the more you know, the more you just can't believe it. I'm not that old, but I love yeah, I think it's very interesting to see the history of products and things like that, and what people we didn't even know. I told you back in the day, we used to take coverings, asbestos coverings off of old cast iron pipes for steam radiator systems, and we'd use them as baseball bats. Who know? Now they go in with, they mark the area off with yellow tape, and they use plastic sheeting on the side of the building, and all the guys, they go in with hazmat suits and and breathing masks and stuff. It's like, damn, yeah, lavender's like 30-minute showers. I almost fainted for you. Well, I took the steps today to change, to modify that a little bit, and to cut that water usage way down. Yeah, slow roll on the Hexol. There you go, Alan Gold. I know they don't have that in North Korea, do they, over there? So you just you just lick each other every other Tuesday, right? Anyway, guys, I was going to tell you tonight I have a couple topics to cover off, and I know for all my ladies out there, and I got so many wonderful ladies on my channel. Thank you, Lovable Rogue. I got so many ladies. Glad you did, because he wouldn't have stopped taking those long showers. Yeah, 5 minutes and done my showers. Well, I'll tell you what. One of the dirtiest jobs you can do, and something I really didn't want to tear into on the rancho. Hey, Deborah, how you doing, sweetheart? Yeah, put a timer on the hot water heater. Really, my ship was nuclear. We could circle the world for 20 years and never need fuel. Fun fact. And Keith Gregory, Monday, of course, is Veterans Day. It's a day that Missy Jen and I hold very near and dear to us. I'm blessed with so many vets in my life, of which you are one of them, United States Navy retired. And I will tell you again, sir, thank you for your service. Okay? Clorox, poor. Oh, yeah, wow. Let's see. Welcome to the club. Pardon me. For probably 2 months, the garbage disposal has been out of action here on the rancho, which means that every time water goes into it once a day, it had to be pumped out with the plunger, and it was getting too, Missy Jen's like, a lot of things have got to be fixed up around here on the rancho. And you guys know I did all the work on the watering system. I'll be doing a video tomorrow on the new garbage disposal. And I want to tell you, ladies, it's just like, sometimes you're glad you don't have to muck around with stuff like that. Because when I dropped that garbage disposal down today, man, the inside, the inside of that thing, man, wow, it's like people continued to pour food down the garbage disposal, and what a mess. Yeah, it was bad. It was bad, and I have all these open cuts from working on the van and everything, and it's another reason I took a week off for hey, Deborah, or I took a week off from the van build to let my hands recover. But, another fun fact, more plumbers lose their teeth installing garbage disposals, and lose their teeth is an occupational hazard, because they will be laying under the sink, and they'll think they have that new disposal hooked up, and that thing will drop right down on their face and smash their teeth in. I mean, it's an ugly, job. You got to get under there. You can think, oh, I'll just push it up from the outside. I'll turn it on the little rail. You can't do that, man. You got to get right in there, right under that baby, right underneath, and twist that thing onto the rails. And man, what a dirty, gooey job hooking up all the old plumbing. So I'll do a short video tomorrow show, and I had to replace a switch and a GFI, a ground fault interrupter circuit. So it was a very busy day. I want to thank Marshall, was of great assistance to me in doing that job today. So that was definitely, I told him he'd be working here, and he sure did today. Hey, Johnny Wad. So we went down to Lowe's, and I got a nice half horsepower unit and replaced that Badger unit. So I think it'll do pretty good in there. We'll see. I'll do a video tomorrow on the things that I changed out. But Mike Rowe, that's a dirty job. Well, I've changed a few garbage disposals in my time. Call a plumber and ask him how much they want to change out a garbage disposal, man. It's like they don't want to do it, so they'll quote you a ridiculous price. I'll put baking soda and fresh lemons once a week to clean up the muck. Yeehaw! How you doing, Sugar Cane? How you doing, babe? Yeehaw! Yeehaw! Oh yeah. All I need is to be riding a bull, baby. Riding the bull. Riding the bull. Yeah, I think it's just really gross, and I'd be very careful of my hands, especially coming out of fishing yesterday. And for those of you who don't know, I had a really miserable night. I've never come on here and complained about health. I mean, in almost 7 years on YouTube, I don't really talk about it because I'm lucky I don't have any, hey, cute kitty. I'm lucky I don't have any real health issues, knock on wood. But man, woo, my knee's doing a lot better. Lavender, I wore my athletic knee support today, and that makes all the difference in the world. I'm doing good, Sugar Cane. Thank you, sweetie. Sugar Cane, let me draw you to my ample bosom and give you a big North Carolina hug. How about that? Yeah, you need a black hat to be a bad cowgirl. No, Brooke, you usually don't. It used to be when and I've been going out on this boat since 2017 and this captain. But it seems like sometime in the last year, this captain either almost hit a whale or almost hit something large out at sea. And now every time he moves the boat, which is quite often, he'll let you fish for 15 minutes and then he's off to another spot. And he doesn't allow anybody to sit on the bow of the boat. So, it's always hard to get a seat in the back when you have almost 50 people crowded into area back there. And I'll just tell you, last night, guys, I'm not kidding. My right knee, which I got in a barroom fight in 1985, a really bad one, ended up in a court appearance. But it actually felt like somebody took a hot knitting needle and was putting it into my right knee. And I mean, no matter which way I turned in bed, I could not get any relief at all. And finally, at 1 o'clock, I just told Missy Jan, I said, I was tossing and turning, and she abandoned ship and came out of here to the sofa, and I just came out and said I might have to go. I might have to go get to the emergency room and get some kind of stronger. Well, I had house guests. I didn't want to leave in the middle of the night and all that, but I did take a naproxen. Somebody said be careful with naproxen because it can cause internal bleeding. I only took one. But it did allow me to go to sleep. But I figured because I was up and down and on my feet all day, and I'm no spring chicken, I'm no spring chicken, and it's a lot to be on your feet for almost 10 hours continuously. Yeah, so I feel a lot better today. I wore that knee knee thing around. And man, that made a big, big difference today. Yeah, naproxen is brutal and it's not, but I really had no choice, Scottish. It was, I mean, I have oxycodone left over from surgeries. I never even took it after surgeries. Boob jobs, tummy tucks, butt stuff. I never had to take anything except extra strength Tylenol. Be working on your knees too. Exactly, exactly. I tried elevating it. Nah, I'm not sure, Goldie Khan, because I played a lot of basketball. I'm a very athletic person. And it takes a toll after a while, especially if you're very, very, hey Cindy, especially if you're very, very active. Thank you, Scottish. Naprosyn is a relief. Yeah, it gave me enough relief. And then on top of it, my hands, I'm not going to turn around to show you, but they are, I took a break, Brooke, for a week, and my hands felt like they were on fire. I think I have double carpal tunnel on both hands, so, I don't know if I want to face the surgery on that. That's right, Mark Handler. My nickname was Ice on the basketball court because I never got rattled. And I played point guard, and I was small, but I was very fast, and I could really shoot outside. And once in a while, I could drive to the net. But my real glory moment came when the game was tied, or it's in overtime, and they always said, "Get the ball to Ice, get the ball to Ice, draw the foul, put me on the foul line." And there would be people behind the net, with holding fingers up and ooh, like that. And it was almost like slow motion. You could see them cursing, "You and you suck and you blow, choke, choke, choke," and it'd be like, I love that. I love that stuff. And super glue cuts before you do work on the van. I did years, 30 years of a lot of computer, a lot of keyboard work. Hey, Coopy, how you doing? Yeah, Coop's like, I'm calling a wambulance. Wah. Thanks, Coop. So sweet. You wait till you get to be my age, okay? Mm. But that's what I could do. I could do free throws on the line, and it didn't rattle me at all. I just kind of laughed. Yeah, you wait till you're an old bird, Coop. Sugar cane's like it's like 28 degrees. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Hey, Matt Freeman, I'm doing good. Baby oil takes super glue. Vice's teammates could see him now. pass, pass me the ball. it's like, it's like, what the hell? You know, you can't use our locker room. Oh, she can use the locker room. It's okay. It's fun. Yep, freezing snow here, man. It's been cold here, and I suspect it's been cold all the way down to where Cooper is, down around Jacksonville, or thereabouts down there. It just seems to me it's unusually cold. Usually our cold weather doesn't come in until December, but it's going to be in the mid 80s coming up this week. So, yeah, that's the real Cooper. You can tell by that smart mouth of his. My snorts are the best, huh? They crack me up. It's been cold in Arizona. I was looking at Yuma, Arizona. It's actually colder in Yuma than it is It is here. So I don't know how people can do that in that climate. So it's crazy. 39 degrees at night. I guess we've gone down to 42. Kathy's like 35 here, and I love the colder, the better. Um, I don't know. Coop probably will have a bed warmer down. Oh man, down there. I'm sure he doesn't. I'm sure he doesn't feel that heat, from the outside there. Mm. Oh, anyway. What am I watching? My fireplace, maybe. Do you like it? You like that? Hmm? You like that? Got to watch your health when weather's up and down. I'm in Tampa and it's beautiful here. I got you. I got your bed warmer right here. Oh my lord. Well, I wanted to ask you something, Coop, but I'll shoot you a text message later about what's going on down in Florida there. Yeah, Europa, the coolest person on YouTube. I'm looking at that. Like, what are you looking at? I'm trying to see, like, what do you, and when somebody trolls and comes in, who's that? Who's that dude next to the guy with black hair? I'm like, where? Well, you're North Korean, Alan Gold. Of course, you like your women frigid and in uniform, right? Salute while you're doing it, baby. Salute while you're doing it. And I think we'll show 1,000 poems. There we go. That's another comment. It'll never see the time of day. Bam, gone. Have a good 1,000 poems. Uh, let's see. The cold. Was there a fire in Hollywood today? I'm not sure. I'm not sure if there was fire in Hollywood today. Yeah, we all looked around like where, and yeah, it's kind of funny. Yeah, lurk, 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 lurk. So I hope people can stay. We're gonna go back up to warm weather, and that'll be good. I'm gonna try to make crab cakes tomorrow. I got 3 nice big Dungeness crabs. I gave away the rest of my crabs. And I'm going to pick them tomorrow and maybe make crab cakes, kind of Maryland style. And we'll see how they go. I haven't made them. I've made them before. I bought the crab meat. I've gotten lazy. Hey Goldie. But we'll see. I mean, it's a lot of work, and I'm not really. I might do it on Monday because let my hands. I don't like to. I got to wear gloves every time I'm cooking on a show now and in life. I got to wear gloves. Hey, how you doing? Corey says the thing Disney makes my state great. Nope, the fishing industry and the tourism. Let's see the things that make Florida great. Well, Florida has number one. Florida has a very colorful history. Okay, especially as pertains to the 1920s when Ernest Hemingway was a great writer living down in Key West there, and it was really the 1920s with all the land boom and all the collapse of the big Miami boom and stuff that really put Miami on the map for the ultimate vacation and ultimate wintering place. Hey Katie, how you doing? The ultimate wintering place down there. No state tax. Yeah. Corey says personally it's the palms, the manatee, shark, dolphin, super neat birds, the colorful characters. I think so. I would tend to agree with you. Also, I think what makes Florida. Well, Florida's awful in some ways, but it's great in others. Florida has, it's an interesting state. In most of the United States, the more that you go south, the more southern the feel. In other words, you start at Maryland and Baltimore and you start to get a southern feel. You get down to Virginia, more southern feel. You get into North Carolina. By the time you get into South Carolina, you're on a real southern feel. And then you get down to Georgia and you're moving south towards Florida. And all of a sudden, if you don't go right to the Panhandle and Tallahassee and all of a sudden, yeah, I might do that, Cooper. I might do that. All of a sudden, Florida starts to get very northern all of a sudden. And it's very unusual. And it's because of the influence of all the Yankees going down there and settling in those places. And you get down to Miami, and it really gets crazy. Um, so that's the things that I like. It's got a lot of people. It's like California, a lot of people that came from other places. So it's very, very multicultural down there. Yep, that's it. So yeah, lots of blue hairs, lots of people driving into canals, and the Everglades, Alligator Alley. There's a lot of different things. The Cubano, the sandwich, man. I love to go to Tampa, and I love to go to Ybor City over there. I've always said you would. You'd love it. Let's face it, it's cheap. I watch the coins. Why do you think I bought that new shower head for the Shine Shack today, you know? You kill two birds with one stone. Help Marshall wash the undercarriage and save myself a little money in the process too. Now I will tell you, you might say, what's one of the spookiest towns you ever went through in your life? Well, it's in Florida. No, it's not where Coop lives down there. Although it's a little goofy over by the Park Place Lounge. Joe. I'm just saying, it's kind of hard to negotiate. But you want to know what a really spooky town is? When I was leaving Florida to go to Tallahassee, everybody's like, oh, don't take the interstate up there. Take this 19 or whatever this route was. It's a more scenic route. Okay, so I take this road, right? And I'm with Jen, and I need to get gas, and I end up in a town called Chieftain in Florida, and man, I never saw anything like this town. I walked into the gas station with the swinging screen door, and the guys in there playing checkers on the barrel in there, and say hi to everybody. They're just like pushing the checkers again. It was just a weird. The whole town had a really weird vibe to it, Chieftain. And it looked very spooky, It looked like it had passed its heyday. Hey, Toots, 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 Toots. Yeah, the undercarriage, Kirsten. So, did I enjoy my time in Florida? Yes, every single minute I did, because everybody can find their place in Florida. If you like to be Miami, Collins Avenue cool, you can be down there. If you want to roll with the rich in Naples and Sarasota, you can do that. Places like Fort Myers, if you want to have an RV park or a mobile home park, it's great. If you want to be in Orlando, they've got all the amusements and things like you better buy Drano for that shower. There's towns of retired carnival freaks in Florida. Well, leave it to Alan Gold. What's up, Rob? How you doing? Mindy, it was like a town in deliverance. It absolutely was. I mean, the roads, there were dirt roads, and it looked like, I want to choose my words carefully because I'm very respectful of all cultures, all people, all income levels. But it just felt hyper depressed. It felt like there was hardly any, as Coop would say, there's hardly any coin in town there, and I felt it, and it was just weird. And I worried about the gasoline. Amy's. I was waiting for somebody to say, I hear the squeak of the door hinge. Oh man, that's funny. That's funny. So that's what I like about Florida. Obviously, the heat and humidity is tough in summertime, but it certainly pays dividends in the wintertime. Now, Marsha was asking me about Arkansas. There was an emergency. I did. I couldn't believe. Lavender says, Rosie, did you think there was an emergency with all that yelling on your way to the shine shack? I'm in here trying to eat breakfast. I've been on my back all day. No comments. And wrestling this garbage disposal. And I'm finally eating dinner. And I hear this yelling, and I am your leader. And I thought maybe somebody left the computer on or something like that. And I go out to the Shine Shack, And there's Marshall in his, and man, what are you yelling about? I can hear you all inside. Chieftain is known for its culture of kissing cousins and banjo music stars. Cooper, let me ask you a question. You know of, I don't know if you know that well of that area, but it really, um, I don't know, it really kind of rattled me when I went through town there. Um, and one of my biggest regrets on the trip was when I got to Tallahassee, Florida. My video camera failed to record because it was a beautiful town. I do have a concept of what utilities cost, Rob, because people in Las Vegas pay $400, $400 and $500 a month for utilities and things. Did you eat all that garlic yesterday, or did you save some of it?
Well, no, I didn't save it because there's nothing to dip it into. So, true
No, I
salute
mean
to
all
you
those
guys.
cloves of heads of garlic and everything.
Oh yeah, is there nowhere else you can move that a little bit?
No, I got the perfect lighting level
Because the
here.
flash is like
What
it's
flash?
reflecting off the metal. It's like blinding. You see that piece of metal right there? If you
That's
could,
that's not a piece of metal. That's a classic Dynaco 70
I know, but it's like
stereo tube amplifier, one of the greatest ever produced
from
in
your end,
America.
it doesn't.
All
It's not
right,
hitting your eyes. Though.
that's not just that's not just
It's blinding.
light.
Yeah.
You know, why don't you adjust it the way that you want it?
No, it's reflecting
just
off
saying,
the. Yeah, it's
go.
blinding. Let's see if we can move it up a little bit.
There we go.
And then, because if you get see, it's reflecting off that shiny part, and it's
Yeah,
blinding.
well, don't look down my top.
That's
Okay.
a lot. That's a lot better. Okay. See, it's shiny. It's like got a shiny finish to it, and she's got it on it, and it's like boom.
Marshall, that's Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
What
The hallmark of great vintage audio.
what I noticed,
there.
Rosie, is my eyes are
I don't have good night vision, as you know.
yeah, my eyes are like. If you show them that radio, I swear it's like a shiny finish, like a stainless steel. Imagine taking a halogen bulb and
Hey,
just shining it.
Ravens, how you doing, honey? The funniest thing you said. What are you doing?
My eyes are like I'm blinded by that thing.
You know I have trouble with low light.
Yeah, you do. Rosie is like Rosie.
Yeah.
You can put her in a very.
I have declining.
I can put her under fluorescent lighting, and
Yeah.
nothing will. But really, I'm sensitive to light. I always tell her. I'm always complaining because the light. I'm telling you, it's like taking a flashlight and flashing it on a stainless steel table and having it reflect right back into your face.
I know. Okay, thank you, Lavender. I know, but here's the problem. You know I have very poor night vision in the dark.
Yeah.
I can't go into dark restaurants because I can't see menus.
I can't see
and things
menus,
like
yeah.
that. Okay. Now, you know it's a hereditary kind of condition. In the
You're not
family.
sensitive. Like that thing is blinding me. Seriously, I don't know how you were
I don't know,
sitting in front of that thing.
but I'm telling you. You remember?
Or you could take a flashlight and put it in her face, and she won't even blink. I mean, it's I don't know. Do you have a night vision thing?
Yeah, it's called macular degeneration. You know.
Maybe you're getting old, Rosie. I don't know. Maybe she just can't. Maybe she just
I'm
can't.
61, man. Maybe I'm getting old, brother. I'm there. You know,
already there.
Shoot.
I had to show. What did I bring? I
Did
brought
you
that.
understand, man? I had my knee thing on yesterday. I'm like dying, man. Good night, Corey. Love you, honey. Take
That's a
care.
nice radio, but it's
Radio, man. That's an amplifier, dude. That's a tube amplifier. So, oh man. Yeah, I know it's terrible. I have zero effeminate. No, I haven't seen any clogs out
okay.
there.
Now you're going to see the
Waffles.
famous shower head, the cheap shower head Rosie had.
Did you change that thing out?
I just changed it. Yeah.
I don't even have a wrench. Did you score the chrome or what?
No.
Is
Now when
it leaking?
No,
Did
here.
you test it?
Yes, I did. This is the cheap Delta. Look at this thing. This is the cheap Delta shower head. The cheap
$9.95.
$9.95 special. This thing was good, but the thing is, the shower is too close by. Now let me tell you what the problem with this thing is. Okay, you got this thing on a stand-up shower, and you're standing there, and the only part that's
Look,
going to hit.
it's meant to be like that, and you turn around.
Right.
Look, with all the places I
Uh,
stick out, how can I'm able to wash myself without having to worry? Water
well,
runs down,
now
right?
the issue with the shower is not that anything's wrong with the shower head, but when you're in a stand-up shower, if I was going to make a stand-up shower like that, a small
Yeah,
one,
I got to check it out, Rob. I didn't. Did you use the plumber tape?
no, you don't need plumber's tape.
Of
You just put it
course
on.
you
No, you
do.
don't. You don't need plumber tape. But the thing is that if you have,
Are you a plumbing expert now?
of course
Did
I
you
am
know it was included with it, the plumbing tape?
included with it.
Yes, the kit.
You don't need plumber's tape. You don't need it. You don't need it. You don't need
Oh,
plumber's tape. You can do without
man.
plumber's tape. But the point is that if you have a stand-up shower, a small one, you're building one in a home. If you put a shower head and you're in a small area, it's only going to hit your head and your neck, chest area. So you have to have a handheld one or have one where it's coming out of the ceiling. Like if you want, you could put one in the ceiling and it'll drop down on you because it's not like you're in a bathtub where you can step back, say, 2 or 3 feet.
How you doing,
You see what I'm
Deborah?
saying? So
How you doing? Tammy's
Not
like,
that
I
there's-
work for Delta. See what Delta could do. You know, not the airline.
if you're in a stand-up shower, you have to have a. There's no way that you can do it with that. Even the military
We
had.
never had any issue. You're the only you and your nephew, and you never really complained about it, but he did. I
Well,
can't even wash my balls in this shower.
he told me not to complain about it. That's why I didn't complain about it. But I knew it ahead of time.
Oh man, yeah.
But-
Time for some vodka, Marshall. You know, some great.
Yeah, I got some of this.
Oh
so-
man. Oh, oh brother.
But the thing is, yeah, Rosie. What I've noticed, the more and more Rosie, she's not. She can't see in the nighttime very well, and she's not sensitive to light. Like when we're sitting there in the kitchen, and she's got all these lights, man, and they're hot and they're bright, and it's like they're just roasting my face and my eyes, and it doesn't bother her. Like you can put her under a fluorescent light, nothing's gonna. I'm really sensitive to that lighting. She has things too bright, you know, like it's just everything's too bright in the rancho here. She's got all these lights on. She doesn't need that light on there. I don't know why she has that on.
Well, just I'm, you know, dark dark places are depressing to me. I like light. I like stuff lit like a stadium.
Yeah, just everything is so bright with Rosie. It's like it's just bright. She loves her surroundings to be bright, you know. This thing was blinding. I couldn't do it. I mean, now I couldn't sit here anymore with that man. There's no way. I mean, now it's much better.
Okay. Well, you know.
I'm just saying.
I'm a sense. Yeah. So. Yeah. So anyway, that shower head should save me a lot of work because water is very expensive.
Well,
here.
the
very
end of
expensive.
the end of it was plastic.
That's why I use a well, you know, for watering and irrigating outside. Because water's so expensive in California.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
So you're not on city water back there?
I am on the shower. Yeah. But I'm not for the irrigation system is well driven here. I have dual power for water here.
I had well water in Arkansas, and I noticed that it used to be very sandy.
Mm-hmm.
It was pretty disgusting. And in my family, my dad had to get in the house in the back. He had to run a water line from there all the way to the front of the property, almost 3 acres, to tap into the city water
Wow.
by the main city water tap.
Missy.
And
Yeah.
well water can be pretty disgusting. It can be sandy and muddy and dirty and smelly.
Why is your water metered? Because our city water we use for cooking and for showering is metered. It can be expensive. It can be it can range up to $150 a month in summertime. So we use the well to irrigate all of the landscaping here and all the trees and all that kind of stuff. I couldn't afford to have fruit trees and grow tomatoes and the things we usually do with city water. There's no way, man.
Really?
It's
How come it's so expensive, the water bill?
because they want you to conserve here.
In Arkansas, it's only like $20-$30 a month.
Well, this
all the
ain't
water.
Arkansas, you know. It's not Arkansas. You
Wow.
know,
It's just like, yeah.
so we are always very careful, and we're always in and out of drought conditions here too. Also,
But you get your water from the Sierra, so it shouldn't matter down there, right? It's not like you're getting from the Colorado River
yeah,
up
but
there.
some years are very light in the Sierras, and then we get drought. We don't get enough rain locally here to fill our.
So what's your typical water bill here per month?
Normally now it's about $60 a month.
That's pretty high. Because I
Well,
remember in
that's actually
Arkansas.
low
Oh,
for here. So
what is everybody's water bill? I don't know. Mark Handler's out there in Iowa. It can't be
um,
$60 a month for water.
I got that issue, cute kitty. Thank you, Deborah. Appreciate that.
I didn't know
But
water is so expensive in California, man.
they charge overage usage. Yeah. It's not straight. It's not a linear billing process. In other words, the more water you use, then you're in the next tier. Your first, they
Uh,
give you like 5,000 gallons a month, and if you
oh,
exceed 5,000, then they double the price on the next, tier up the next
don't you pay
5,000
every 3 months for the water? That's what you used to do
every
in
month.
Arkansas. Every
Every
month.
month. Yeah.
Aren't you supposed to have a digital meter?
We have a meter that's out front here.
Oh, okay.
So
It's interesting. I wonder
yeah,
how
we have
much.
low flow toilets and all that stuff out here. So
I wonder what they charge in here for water.
35 to 40, Coop says, in northern Florida.
Florida, really?
Up there.
I'm surprised
Thank
water
you,
is that
Karina.
much. I'm really surprised. You know something, Rosie? One of the best places for a nomad to get water is to get city water from a gas station, and you can ask. And as long as you can get it free, I'm beating the system. Why do I want to pay? That's part of beating the man. I can't believe water's so
A
expensive.
lot of gas stations even have a water hookup anymore.
They usually have a spigot, and you can
Okay.
ask them. And I learned that from Justin Credible because he's like, "Where do you fill water?" And you go to a gas station and you just ask them.
Yeah, there you go, Biker
You can
Aussie.
get free water.
160 a truckload for 5,000 gallons. So actually, the Sean Shack has two water feeds, one for well water and one for city water, because we use the well water to cool the still when we would run the still to create condensation, so the alcohol vapors would condense and drop. We couldn't run city water for 6 hours while we're doing a run on there, so
Oh, it costs you a
we use the
fortune.
well water to do that.
I'm surprised you've got well water because this is basically a desert.
Well, the cities wants me off this well so bad because I'm one of the last few people in the city that's on a well, and I'm right smack in the center of the city. So all that. Let's see. I want a jackknife sofa here to do special videos. Yeah. So anyway, so we were talking about every state has great things and bad things, and because you got me thinking about Arkansas. You're like, tell me about the history in Arkansas, and of course they had the Little Rock school system, the integration of that with the National Guard and all that. But
Little Rock 9, yeah.
you're generally pretty negative on Arkansas. You have been
Well,
over the years.
I,
Tell me some positives. Tell me about the food scene in Arkansas. Does it have its own cuisine in Arkansas?
well, the thing is Arkansas kind of like how you say that Santa Rosa has its different sections.
Yeah.
In Arkansas is the same way because you have the Delta
Eureka
region.
Springs.
Well, you have the Delta region, which are all the swamps, the swampy areas around Memphis. And then you have the southern part where it's all woods. And then you have the northern part, which is all mountains and a University of Arkansas.
Well, you're part of the Ozarks there too.
Yeah. And then, but smack dab in the middle, the Little Rock area where I was born, there's not much there. It's just I-30 is just a pit stop you're running through.
Cooper, yeah.
And it's Little Rock. I mean, it's so it's
Well,
actually
it's the capital of Arkansas.
it's the capital and the
Yeah.
government seat, but it's such a I don't know how to explain it. It's a pit stop. That's the capital city of Arkansas. That's where the government is at.
There must be a lot of lawyers and government offices there.
Right.
Stuff like
And
that.
there's a lot of Mexicans have moved in over the years. It's a very
Was it a
high.
poultry and agricultural things, or
Well, the Tyson chicken is
yeah?
not there. They're up in the northwest
Well,
part.
Hudson Foods, were they down in that area?
Tyson is up in the
Okay.
northwest part. But Arkansas, Little Rock, they're uh, it's like
Great food in Pine Bluff, Arkansas.
it's a very weird town because it's you have economic devastation.
Yeah, there you go, Bluebird. They want to charge me
Uh,
for my will.
a lot of it is economically devastated, and all the people that can afford to live out of there, they live in the suburbs. So the core of it is really it's economic devastation, you know, and it's kind of like Oakland.
Okay,
It's just
Spanky.
it's just a weird place. It's just a weird place, you know. And when you get out
We'll
to
talk
this,
about Hot Springs then. That was kind of the hoity-toity little area. One, I mean, it's got some beautiful
Hot
architecture there.
Springs, Arkansas, yeah. I mean, you got that the main avenue there
Yeah,
with all the hot
Congress Avenue.
springs and the
Yeah,
hotels and stuff like that. And then now
I
they have the
remember your
little
videos. Unfortunately, that was lost on the channel at
right,
that time.
right. And so it's also a very economically devastated area. Now they said because there used to be casinos there and all that.
You said it was a mob town too, like the
From
mob.
what I heard, yeah, yeah. So that is also very economically devastated. There's a lot of creepiness about it.
Yeah, the Clintons from
Uh,
Arkansas. Hillary's from
yeah.
Chicago, Illinois.
As creepy as Hot Springs is, I would think that if you went to a cemetery there, it really would be creepy. It just has this. You see crackheads on the street and homeless, and once you get off the beaten
Hey,
strip,
Ginger.
all the crackhead
I'm
motels.
not sure. Soon, Linda. Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
You remember I told you make some content. Go from little Marshall got to Hot Springs, and he was so pissed off. He got to the Oak Lawn race. You know, he's staying at the casino or something. I remember him doing a video. Man, there's nothing here. I wasted my waste. This is the last time I listened to this Rosie O'Kelly about to show us something interesting.
Well, you know what's creepy about it?
I burned my
You
gasoline
leave.
money to come over here and show this. Man, he was pissed.
You know what's creepy about it, Rosie? I live in Benton, which is
Oh,
25.
there you go, Coop.
I lived in Benton, which is 25 miles southwest of Little Rock. So if you go from Benton to Little Rock, you're on the expressway. Okay? But
Now,
when you
Benton, is that Bentonville or is...
no, Benton.
Okay.
Bentonville is
Not to be
northwest.
confused with
Yeah.
Bentonville.
But the creepy thing about Hot Springs is you drive from Benton to Hot Springs, there's nothing. It's absolute darkness, absolute country,
Kind of
winding
like
roads.
going across the Arizona, California
Yeah.
desert at night.
For
yeah.
30, 35, 40 minutes, there's nothing. It's just dark, it's creepy, winding
Crabs were
roads.
great.
And then when you get there, all you see is that one strip of a few bars and the hot springs, and they got the convention center there. And then all around that is economic devastation. And
Dangerous?
just dangerous and very seedy. It just gives you that same feel of Oakland. It's just a very creepy place.
What
It's
about
just-
nightlife in Little Rock and stuff? You're famous for, hey Rosie, let's go out and see what's going on.
yeah.
You know, where are the strip clubs and where the girls hang out?
Right,
Where's
right.
the action? What about Arkansas for that and Little Rock and that?
well,
Is it seedy or is it?
well,
you know-
Little Rock has their little area. There's River Market with a few bars there, and there's a bar called Discovery.
Yeah, I'm going to ask him that, Coop. But go
There's a
ahead.
bar called Discovery. They call it Disco. That's where they had, for years, they have the drag show. And it's a pretty cool place, actually. It gets packed with a lot of people. It's pretty lively. It's kind of like Piranha, you know?
Okay.
Um,
It's interesting down
but
south.
It's called Discovery. You can
Good
look
night,
it up.
Amy.
Cooper would like it. It's called Discovery Club. But besides that, once you get outside of Little Rock, it's just pit stop town. Like where I was born, there's nothing there.
Yeah, Bounty Hunter says, Elvis, you need to come back. Things have changed a lot down there.
The reason that I hate,
And then Cooper wants you to talk about Eureka Springs.
well, Narce's been there. I don't know.
Okay.
It's a artsy fartsy kind of town. But the reason that I've always hated rural areas and kind of the South is because the boring and pit stop. And then when I left and went to Chicago and I saw the big city, I got hooked on it. And then I lived in Houston for about a year, and I started liking big cities. I don't like small towns. I just
Okay, so pick one thing about Arkansas that's great.
one thing that I can
One
think
thing
of.
to recommend the state of Arkansas. Just one.
Um, one thing, one
One
thing.
thing.
Sims Barbecue.
So barbecue in general, or just
Just
food scene,
no,
barbecue scene.
just Sims. Just
Okay.
it's this black guy. He got a couple places. He's got a legendary
Me too,
sauce.
Coop.
He's got really good barbecue.
Now, Coop says what I say. Eureka Springs as a place seems to. I'd want to.
but
I've heard nothing but great reviews. It's pine trees and it's all. It's
right.
supposed to be lush
Have you
down
heard
there.
of Branson, Missouri?
Yes, of
Okay,
course.
okay.
That's in the Ozarks
And
down there.
that's what I noticed about Arkansas. It's a very weird state because you're like there's no culture there. Like people consider culture there, and they have good catfish. There's good catfish in
Hmm.
Arkansas, okay, but because that's where they come from, Arkansas River. But that's all they have. Like it's not known for something. You know, like you go to different places like here, they're known for the wine.
Oh,
There
okay. Thank you, Michelle. Sorry.
and Mississippi has catfish too. So it's just a very neutral. I mean, Hot Springs is known for their water, Mountain Valley Spring water. Hope, Arkansas, that's where Bill Clinton was born. They're known for their watermelons. But there's not really much to it. It's just too simple. It's just too. It's not defined. It's not defined.
Okay.
There's no definition to it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's right. I struggled for history till somebody mentioned
The Little Rock
the
Nine is
Little
that was
Rock
a big
Mountain.
deal. That
That
was
was a
real,
big deal. That changed the nation in a lot of
really in a
ways.
lot of ways.
You
What
know
changed
that.
it after that?
Well, that was the result of Brown versus the Board of Education, 1954. That separate is not equal in education, and you have to allow blacks and whites to go to the schools that they
Nationwide,
want to.
everybody knew about that, right?
Yeah, that was big. That was a huge Supreme Court decision. Okay, now let's go on to. I've got mouse toes in here, and I adore mouse toes. I know she's not number one on your hit parade, but she does a lot of cool stuff. She lives in South Carolina.
Right.
Now, when I went to visit TR Prepper, and of course Debbie Lee in Greenville, South Carolina, and around that place, I was also familiar with low country food in the Carolinas, out on the coastal region.
Right.
And if you ever have a chance to see, let's talk about some of the things that make South Carolina great.
Can I tell you one thing about South
Yeah.
Carolina? I know that they're. I know North Carolina's known for the barbecue and all that and the whole pulled pig,
Hmm.
but also I think I don't know if they're known for shrimp and grits or if that's a New Orleans thing. I think it's a New Orleans thing. But I remember when I was on Highway 95 going to New York in 2016, I stopped off in uh, Florence, South
Uh
Carolina,
huh. That's
and
where my brother got married. Yeah.
yeah, and anyways, I noticed it was a lot of African American people there,
Hmm.
and I noticed I don't know there was just something negative about it. Uh, I don't know what it was. I got a very negative vibe. But right when I drove up north and went to Wilmington, North
Hmm.
Carolina, it automatically the vibe changed. It was mostly Caucasian area, and I noticed barbecue places started popping up, and there were. It seems like North Carolina is the. I got a different vibe from North Carolina. I got a better
Well,
vibe.
I'm gonna stick to South
Yeah,
Carolina because I have a lot of thoughts on South Carolina. A lot of people only know South Carolina from south of the border. They're driving down 95 and they only know passing through
pit
South
stop. Yeah,
Carolina on the
right.
way
On the
to
way Florida,
Florida.
basically. Yeah.
But if you have ever been to Charleston, it's a
Right.
magnificent town. It's really where the Civil War's real big shots began at Fort Sumter, on the harbor down there. And there's something special about walking along uh, the waterfront in Charleston. You have the big, magnificent oak trees with the Spanish moss that's hanging, and you see the incredible homes that face out on the water
On
there.
the water. Okay.
Then you eat the food. You got the low country food, she crab soup, and all of the great barbecue. And so, see, you don't really know about South Carolina barbecue, but
Right.
they do oysters and crabs. And yeah, the architecture
Well, they've got the
in
water, they got the
Charleston.
seafood, just like North Carolina.
Yeah, the architecture. If you ever have a chance to go to Charleston, it's magnificent. That city and the food at the coastal end, the low country they call that, more the tidal type of region stuff. Then you get up country where Debbie Lynn is, and the whole tenor starts to change to mountain,
Barbecue.
and starts to change to
So,
you start pushing up into the Appalachians and things, and it gets very different.
huh.
Yeah, Cooper says Charleston, Savannah, St. Augustine, my style, not too big or not nor small. Yeah, I think it's classy. I think it's very classy. Well, I'm not going to write a book, Poppy J, but I am fascinated by what some of the
You know what kind of
attractions.
fascinating about the region? When you leave Florida and you get into Valdosta, Georgia. Valdosta is the first town on the border. And I noticed the people are so much more friendly in Valdosta than in Florida. And the women are beautiful. You see these women that look like models out of, Sports Illustrated, like they're
Oh,
beautiful.
Keith,
In
I wouldn't
Georgia,
buy my book.
I don't know what kind of genetics they have, but these women in Valdosta, Georgia, particularly, I mean, you're talking like 6'2" blondes, you know, hourglass
They
figure.
used to have a saying in the old days, Marshall, on the eastern seaboard. The more north you went, the better the men looked as you went north in America. And as you went south in America, the better the women looked.
The women in Florida are not
Yeah.
attractive like
Well,
Georgia,
but I'm
that's
saying
the
that
same.
was, that they would say the guys were geekier in the north, and then when you came, the guys were better looking in the north, and then as you came south, the women became better looking than the guys
Oh,
were. I thought, no offense, Coop. I'm relating what they used to say in the old days down there.
Georgia has some beauty queens. The most beautiful women, American white women I've ever seen in my life, are in Georgia. And I've had some good soul food in Georgia too. I went to Gigi's Cafe, Gigi's Southern
Well, wait a
Food.
minute.
And yeah,
I'm not on Georgia because I got real thoughts on Georgia.
right.
But I want to finish with Carolina. You know what also makes South Carolina magnificent is probably hands down it has the best bass fishing in the United States.
Okay.
They have the Santee Lake region up there, and that's supposed to be. There you go, Coop. That's supposed to be the very best thing. Well, I'm just saying, Mindy May. That's the kind of ridiculousness that used to hold sway. Um,
You have a lot of viewers in the Carolinas,
a
in
lot,
North
yeah,
and South
North and
Carolina.
South Carolina. I have a lot of viewers in North and
A
South
lot of people
Carolina,
from there, yeah, in that area.
and I believe, like, I had a chance to see a lot of South Carolina, and I was impressed with how the further west you go, it almost becomes like Tennessee and over in that area.
Right.
It's very fascinating. Oh, you heard the same thing, Mindy May. I thought it was very interesting. I'm just relaying that. Oh, thank you, Poppy J. Now, Georgia, I think has changed a lot. When I was a kid, Georgia was still pretty much a rural, big agriculture state, which it still is down there. But Atlanta really changed the dynamic of Georgia in a major way. Don't you feel like it attracted a crap load of people to move during the energy crisis in the 70s? A lot of people moved to Atlanta and
I don't really don't know the history of why Atlanta got so big. Really, maybe Rosie knows it better. I've been through there. It's just a very
I think
stressful.
it was a Sun Belt kind. It was like,
Yeah,
cheaper to build factories and things like that. And I think the complexion of Georgia really changed a lot. It became almost northern in
do you
some
think
ways,
I
and
liked Atlanta when I went there, or did I not like it? I think there are some things I
you
liked about it.
skirted. Um,
Around it, right?
Darn.
I was more around it on the perimeter.
Yeah, what was that name? What was
You,
that suburb north of that you ended?
I was in Decatur, but
No, it was just outside of. It was a two-word town outside of there.
uh,
Robin or something. I can't remember.
Warner Robins.
Warner Robins. Yeah,
No, I
out
didn't
there.
really spend that much time there, but
Oh, there you go, sugarcane. Georgia's the most underrated state in my fave. Think of it, mountains to oceans, truly the hidden gem of our country. Yeah, people don't know a lot about Georgia, but it's a state that I
but
find fascinating.
yeah,
But when people think of Georgia, they have two thoughts. Southern, and then they have Atlanta. Atlanta's a very cosmopolitan city now. The airport, Hartsfield Airport or whatever, is like vies to be the busiest in the nation
it's
down
a
there. So
very it's a very police state. It's a very police state
it does
city.
have a reputation for banging Yankees when they come down south. Everybody's
Uh,
like, "Oh, slow down when you're in Georgia or whatever, man," because
yeah,
they'll nail you down there. Yeah, Martin Luther King is the
I
reason
I
Atlanta.
think Stone Mountain, Georgia, is a very weird place.
Now Cooper
Before
did a video on Stone Mountain,
Now I don't
Georgia.
know what it's like when you get to the mountain, but before you get to it in the ghetto, man, it's a very,
Yeah, bang them
very weird
Yankees.
place. I would probably put Stone Mountain, Georgia. I'd put it up with that worst part of Vegas where we went, where we saw the crackhead. There's a lot of spookiness about Atlanta. There's just so much about it.
Yeah, our Georgia State troopers are world famous. They will get you. And I think there's nothing like they love more than seeing a New York license plate come down.
I've always wanted
It's
to
like the
see.
South shall rise again. And here we go, son. Welcome down
So,
to
do you like
Georgia.
Savannah or Charleston more?
Savannah's beautiful.
Really?
Savannah's beautiful, but I think I like the food scene better in Charleston down there.
In
And I
Charleston.
found the genteel nature of that. Now, Savannah was supposedly not wrecked during the Civil War. Like Charleston, there was fighting in Charleston and all that. But
The thing with Maryland, Maryland is a weird state. When I went to Maryland, you can't really. There's so much. It's so hilly.
Maryland is called American Miniature. It has the Appalachian Mountains, skiing, and it has the Atlantic Ocean. It has Chesapeake Bay. It's a north-south state. Means
Yeah, there's
it's
parts
the
of it
great
where people.
divider.
Yeah,
There's people that are very
speaks
southern and
southern.
people that are very northern.
Right.
It's a divided state, the old line state they would call
It's
it.
like it feels weird. Like you when you're in Bel Air,
Good night, Mindy.
the people don't speak the southern accent, but when you're south of that,
Oh,
it
they
feels.
just depend. Did you ever go to the Eastern Shore? Where Maryland fried chicken was, you go to Kentucky, they feature Maryland fried chicken. You go to
That's the
Maryland, they
divider
feature
between north and
Kentucky.
south, right? Or
Yeah, the
Maryland.
Mason-Dixon line, Pennsylvania and Maryland is right there. To me, it's a total change when you get down to, especially if you go to the Eastern Shore of
I think
Maryland.
Philadelphia is a scary
You have
city.
big plantations on the
Okay.
Eastern Shore. You have Purdue Chickens, which is an enormous chicken operations there. It takes a tough man to make a tender chicken. Purdue Farms and all that. So they grow a lot of corn. They produce a lot of chickens.
Delaware has a lot of water, and it looked pretty when I drove through it, but you said it's not pretty.
No, Delaware. There's not much to really recommend. You have Wilmington, which is, I hate to say it, is it's kind of a dark town. Wilmington, it's got a lot of problems up in that area. Dover's like the Air Force Base and all that. But you get down to Rehoboth Beach and some of the ocean places, they're very nice down there. Bethany Beach and those kind of places. But it's a small state.
You never talk about the East Coast that much. What are your favorite places there? Your top
Probably
five?
the Delmarva Peninsula over there, the Eastern Shore.
Where?
Chesapeake Bay, around some of the Chesapeake Bay, Eastern Shore, St. Michael's, all the.
Is that Baltimore?
No, it's on the other side of the bay. It's on the east side of the Chesapeake Bay over there. Have you been to Montana? I have not. No. There's states I haven't been. I haven't been to Idaho. I haven't, I don't know if you want to count changing planes as going. I don't count that as going. When you change planes in Seattle, that's not really, well, I've been to Washington, right? You haven't. You just changed planes. I haven't been to Oregon.
Oregon is
I
a
haven't
very
been to
scary state.
Washington.
It's beautiful, but a lot of mountains.
I haven't been to Montana, North Dakota, South Dakota, Idaho, Minnesota. Haven't been to Minnesota.
Minnesota, Minneapolis.
I'm trying to. I haven't been
I'm
to
surprised you
Arkansas.
never. I'm surprised you never went to Oregon and Washington. They're
Yeah, I
right
know.
by here.
I
You haven't
just,
really.
I'm stupid. I'm thinking I'm associating like the Northwest with rain and
With
just,
rain.
and it's not. I know it's not. Like I'd love to go to Portland and do the food truck scene and all that kind of stuff. But then other people are like, no, Portland's turned into it's not a good place to visit. I'm trying to think where else I've been to Kentucky, Tennessee. I'm trying to think of where else I haven't. It's not a lot of. I haven't been to Vermont. Okay, I haven't
Vermont.
been to
How
Vermont.
about the Virginias, Western?
Oh yeah, all over West
You know.
Virginia and Virginia. Yeah, really well.
So Rosie, if you could say in this country, right, out of all the United States, right, where would you say it has the weirdest people? If you could list,
The weirdest
yeah, just the
people.
weirdest vibe you get from people. If you could just stick out of your head, you know,
Yeah, I gotta think about that.
what
The
city or state?
weirdest, the weirdest vibe.
Yeah, the weirdest vibe from people and stuff.
The weirdest vibe from people.
City, state, and where could you think?
I think. I think. I think. Washington.
Philadelphia scared me. I never went. I mean, I passed through it, but
I think Los Angeles puts off a weird vibe.
really.
Okay, because you have so many people jammed together, and it's so spread out that it's not even a city. It's just a collection of towns that grew together, and that dynamic makes it super weird. To me, that there different areas of the city can be so culturally different than other areas of the city,
Okay.
and there's a weird vibe. There's always an undertone of disaster, I think, that underpins LA. Like
That's what
it's going to
Mr.
be the place where the stuff hits the fan, like in
Like
in
apocalypse.
LA. Like just the homeless population is so huge now, and you have a Democrat city, and that doesn't go together. That concept, like the Democrats got to be like, well, we got to respect the homeless, and yet the money people want the city cleaned up and that kind of. So there's a real rough
So the
dynamic.
red and blue are fighting.
Yeah, there's a really
There's a
raw.
clash.
Oh, Asheville, North Carolina. Skid Row by the Fashion District. Bluebird said Portland isn't funny, but there's a really good night, Sugar Cane. Love
Apocalyptic
you.
feel. An
It
apocalyptic
feels
feel.
like if something's going to explode in a riot situation, it's going to be in LA. Because you have a town, and you're seeing it to some extent in Santa Rosa, and you can tell people when. Well, I can't. You didn't see it, but when we rode in, the people that took over the trail, the homeless out there. There's now hundreds of tents and hooches out
Jeez.
there and things on the. And it's since California has that attitude of everybody somebody, then they're between a rock and a hard place. We have to maintain liberal values, so we can't push these people, and yet the people that are generating money and income are like, man, we can't even use this trail
Area.
anymore to bike ride.
Right.
It's funny to see them do the dance.
So the clash is happening in LA between
Yeah.
the conservative people who have a lot of money and the liberals who are middle class, basically.
Well, look, when I was 20 years ago, I wanted to visit LA so bad. The lifestyle, the palm trees, the girls,
Hollywood,
the
yeah.
Hollywood,
It's
the
all
studios. I wanted to go sit in on a Tonight Show and do that.
yeah.
Yes.
Or Jay Leno and
Yes, and McMahon, and all that.
Yeah.
But last time Jen and I went down there, we felt like it was a sociological disaster ready to happen down there.
Wow.
We couldn't even walk around downtown because people would put their tents totally taking the whole sidewalk, so you literally had to push the wheelchair in the street to go, and it was spooky.
Wow.
Now you have a very Democrat mayor, and well, I can't, I'm going to piss off my constituency if I go in there and, do like something out of Soylent Green and just start gathering bodies and moving them out of the area.
And that's the funny thing. Most Hollywood actors
Lemon
are
Day
all,
says, my husband and I moved out of LA County, and now we live in a nice boom town in Riverside. Got lots of open space and slower pace. Kentucky's a spectacular state. Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Bowling Green. I wanted
Kentucky,
I wanted to mention Bowling
That's
Green.
the Corvette Hall
That's
of
where
Fame.
they have Camping World headquarters at. I heard Camping World's going down to business.
That's also where Duncan Hines was headquartered. And,
but you know what I noticed about
not
Bowling?
the cake mix, the guy who started doing restaurant reviews and things.
You know what I noticed about Bowling Green? When I went through there on this trip coming back up from Chicago, I noticed it was very clean, and I noticed a very good vibe from it, and there was a lot of available truck parking and parking for RVs. I got a very good feeling in Bowling Green. Is that a good economy?
Yeah.
Or is that a good...
yeah, Soylent Green is people, yeah. Yeah,
I just got a very positive
You start to
vibe.
get into the horsey set around Lexington and that kind of thing, so Flagstaff is
Bowling
nice.
Green is a nice place. I don't know. I got a very good feel about Bowling Green.
Cheryl says, as a Canadian, I feel hypersensitive in most American cities. But I want to key down on this thing about
South Carolina?
not South Carolina, but since you mentioned
Apocalyptic feel or weird
about
feel?
California, you asked me which place do you feel is the weirdest
Crazy.
vibe right now. And you go through LA and you can just feel an
Oh, you can
undertone
feel it. You
of
can feel it.
resentment by people
Oh, yeah.
that have money. Like the homeless are pushing people off of Hollywood Boulevard now, and they're all, it becomes a mecca because of the climate and handing out social services and feeding and doing that. Why would you go anywhere else? You're going to go to Minnesota if you're homeless?
Because that was free to them.
No, I mean, you know what I'm saying?
So it basically became...
but you laugh about Duncan Hines. There was a guy named Duncan Hines, and he achieved great fame, and he was the first guy that ever did restaurant reviews on the road.
So where's
America?
Where's Melsto's from?
South Carolina.
Has she ever said what city she's
And
from?
Duncan Hines achieved great fame. His book was sought by businessmen who would nationally travel, driving the roads to sell national accounts. And he said, I'm going to start doing reviews of the restaurants that I eat. And he compiled the Duncan Hines Review of Guide to Good Eats on the Road.
So the bottom line
He was
is
a real guy.
With homeless people in this country, the homeless epidemic that we have, these people are going to go to warm climates that offer socialism that has the state to take care of them, basically, right?
Yeah.
And you're saying Los
You're going
Angeles...
to find that in liberal states that fight that terrible battle mentally between liberalism and allowing what made their cities great to decay away and turn into places where people want to move businesses elsewhere and sell and move out of those kind of places. Okay.
So basically,
San Francisco to some extent, but San Francisco is so wealthy they can afford to carry almost unlimited people without feeling it. Yeah, there's so much money and tax revenue and giant corporations and things.
So are there in San Francisco, are there enough homeless shelters to support all these people? Or are they all just living on the street?
Well, remember, some of these people don't want to be in a shelter. They don't want to be in a housing thing. They want to be on the street.
Yeah.
And people find that hard to believe. Well, you're talking, Rosie talks up homeless people. No, Rosie talks a lot of times to people that have a place to stay, but they want to be out there on the street, hanging with their friends and doing their thing.
It's a scary. It's an unbelievable thing. Even in Florida, all the homeless people. It really is something. These people are. I mean, really, they're just. I'm thinking living. I don't know if they're living in tents or. I don't know how they're living.
I'll show people this.
But the homeless epidemic in this country is just unbelievable, man. I don't know. It really is. In Florida,
Russia would be more turned on this, because this was like the first. This guy was a pioneer, man, in telling you where to eat on the road. There it is. Adventures in Good Eating, Duncan Hines book. Okay. And this is lucky to find this in an abandoned farm. This is the 1949 version here. Okay. And the reason this kind of hit me was because this was Duncan Hines' headquarters in Bowling Green, Kentucky. There. Okay.
The cake mix guy.
Not the cake mix guy.
Not the cake mix guy.
Nope, this guy had no relation to the cake
Duncan
mix.
Hines.
Okay. The reason that they developed the Duncan Hines cake mix name because this guy became associated with good eating. So they paid to use his name.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So this is like
Duncan
Anthony
Hines. This is a real guy.
This is the first Anthony Bourdain, basically.
This is the first Anthony Bourdain. Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. And let's turn to Arkansas here. And let's see, he reviewed all over the nation. He would travel. He was a national printing salesman.
Right.
And he thought he would always run into other guys and they would say, where's a good place to eat in this town? And he'd tell them. And then so many guys asked him over the years, how did you just put a book together that I can just start selling? It became all the rage. This guy was famous. Okay, Arkansas.
I never even heard of this guy. I don't know.
You never heard of Duncan Hines cake mixes and all that?
I mean, cake mixes, but I never heard of the guy Duncan Hines.
Yeah.
I don't know what this guy.
The more you know. Little Rock, Arkansas. Frankie's Cafeteria.
Oh man! Hold on a second.
See, here we go.
That struck a bell. You know what, Frankie's? That was my dad's favorite place. You want to? Okay.
There we go.
I'll tell you
Duncan
a classic
Hines
story.
Had it
Okay, now that you mentioned Frankie's, it just hit my head. You know, Frankie's has been in business a long time. You know what I remember, Rosie? There was a mall in Arkansas that they tore down now. It's called University Mall. That's where the original Frankie's was at. And there was a guy named Tony Bowling.
Did you see him light up, man?
There was a guy named Tony. You know what? It's a cafeteria, and you sit down, and it's all white towels and everything. And they had really, really good food. And you just order in line and sit down. But you know what I remember about that place? Tony Bowling, the guy that got my dad into the car business into the 70s. We used to meet him there.
Wow.
And he used to buy my dad. Buy us food, and we used to sit there and hang around with him.
There you go, Lavender.
And everything in there was delicious. You know, it's still in business at a different location.
But I think it's let's listen to what they said in 1949.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
I wasn't quite born yet. Okay.
They've been around. They've been around.
9 years later, there I was.
Yeah.
Okay. Rosie's been around the horn a few times. 115 West Capitol Avenue in Arkansas. Open all year, 6:30 to 9:30 a.m. and 11 to 8 p.m. Only women do the cooking. Only women. Frequently in small quantities on top of the stove. Try their barbecued lamb and cornbread among other specialties in there. Barbecued lamb.
They never had that. No, not when I went.
Okay. And then you got the Lido Inn. You ever hear of that? The Lido L-I-D-O?
I never heard of that one. No, not that one.
25th and Main Street. Open all year, every day except Christmas, Thanksgiving, 4th of July. Some of the favorite dishes here are homemade navy bean soup, ham and turkey casserole, Lido salad bowl, ice box pie, and they serve steaks, chicken, and seafood. Lunches are 85 cents to $1.35. Dinner's $1 to $1.75. How about the Sam Peak Hotel?
Never heard of that one.
Well,
I know Frankie's, but
the Sam Peak Hotel, Sam Peck Hotel, Sam Peck.
Never heard of that.
Capitol Avenue at Gaines.
Probably out of business. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know about that.
An immaculate, comfortable hotel presenting a distinctive appearance as well as providing distinctive room decorations, and the food is the type we all long for and so seldom find: plain, well seasoned, and properly cooked. The Sam Peck Hotel. How about the Hotel Pines? Well, that's in Pine Bluff. You don't know
Pine Bluff. That's a
Searcy, Springdale, Walnut Ridge,
I don't know.
Okay.
But Frankie's Frankie's, we used to get the roast beef plate with mashed potatoes, the baked macaroni and cheese, and the custard pie. I love custard pie. It was my dad's favorite. It's mine. And they all knew my dad. Everybody knew my dad. It was like everybody. It was one of those places.
How about Burger King and Overlook Fine Dine? How you doing, Patricia?
But Frankie's Cafeteria.
Boy, that really rang a bell right
Oh
off the
yeah,
bat.
that hit me off. That's a very historical place in Arkansas. Everybody knows.
Let's see Yuma, Arizona. If there was anything in Yuma,
shoot.
okay.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Winslow, that's in North.
I doubt it.
I don't know. I don't see.
I wonder what it says about Chicago.
Well, how well do you know Chicago?
I know Chicago. I mean, I lived there half my life.
There's nothing in Yuma.
Nothing in Chicago?
No, I'm sure there's Illinois. I'm sure Chicago has tons of it. Chicago.
Frankie's.
Oh, I'm not going to read them all, but I'll just go down the names.
Yeah, I know Chicago. I mean,
Chicago.
I know Chicago.
Bismarck Hotel.
Nothing.
A bit of Sweden. The Boston Oyster House.
That's probably not even in business.
The Buttery in the Ambassador Hotel.
I don't know that.
Cameo Restaurant.
Nope.
Carter's Restaurant. Carson Prairie Scott and Company Tea Rooms. Well, Carson Prairie was a department store.
Department store.
So like Baltimore, they always had tea rooms.
Oh, okay.
That's where I saw segregation, black and whites at the counter.
Okay, yeah. I know they went out of business now.
Yeah.
What else did it say?
Charm House. Shape Hall. Czech Lounge. Czech Lodge, I mean. Don the Beachcomber, the Drake Hotel, certainly.
I've heard of Drake Hotel, yeah.
Forum Cafeteria, Harding's Colonial Room. See, it's very hard to keep a restaurant long term.
Most of these places are gone.
Harmony Cafeteria, Fred Harvey Restaurants.
All gone.
Ho Cow was a Chinese place.
Hong Kao?
Yeah,
That's in Chinatown. If that really, is it Hong Kao or Ho?
Ho Cow.
I don't know if that's.
It says Ohio Street near the north side. Cantonese food. All dishes are freshly prepared. Isabel's Restaurant, Julie's Restaurant, Keller's Golden Ox, Klein's, Kung's Home, Mams, Marshall Field was a department store. Palmer House.
I've heard of it.
Palmer House is very famous. Pete's Famous Steaks. See, no mention of pizza at that time. Okay.
But Frank's Cafeteria is still being open. It's pretty incredible.
Phelps and Phelps Colonial, The Pit, Pump Room at the Ambassador, Red Star Inn, Ernest Ricketts Restaurant, St. Hubert's Old English Grill, the Shangri-La, Wrigley Building Restaurant,
a lot of places are gone.
Yar Restaurant,
yeah.
Lakeshore Drive. So it shows you how difficult it is to to really keep a restaurant going. Kim says the Union Oyster House in Boston has been open since 1826. Did Mexico have good Chinese food? I didn't get to check, but one thing that I found very fascinating was the only way I was really able to get some information, and I have very, very limited Spanish, but I found people living in Mexicali, Mexico, that were Chinese, and I spoke Chinese to them to get to get some information about Mexicali. I regret that I did not have the Chinese food in Mexicali, just to tell people how cool it was to have Chinese food in Mexico.
When I was in Mexicali.
Now that restaurant was packed. We went into that night.
I know. But when we were in Mexicali, before we left, in that area...
I did get tired of Mexican food, Susie. Really tired of it.
When we were in Mexicali, because I believe Mexicali was the creepiest town we went to.
Yeah.
And when we were in that area towards the end, where the cop was at, what town...
Among other things.
Yeah, what town in America...
But what happens in Mexicali stays in Mexicali.
What town in the United States...
If that doesn't whet your appetite, what?
What town in the United States reminds you of that creepy area of Mexicali? What stuff was coming out of the woodwork?
I don't know. I have to think about
Oakland, you think? Or?
some extent, maybe Oakland at night on maybe on International Boulevard at night. Um,
That had that vibe, that
it just
Mexicali creepy vibe.
yeah, it's I can't really think of any immediately off out of on my mind.
Because when I
Having
saw
baked,
the guy,
yeah, what I still think like lavender, a baked potato would be a great costume for you.
well,
To have
okay,
some butter in the middle and
but
wrap yourself in
but
foil.
but let me tell you this: when I was in Chicago one time, I saw some gangbangers and they had a baseball bat and they were looking for somebody. Okay, so there was a reason they had the baseball bat. They weren't just gonna mug it; they were looking for somebody. But when you're in Mexicali and all of a sudden this guy walks out of nowhere with a
I
baseball
know he
bat,
starts chasing dogs.
and then you say to yourself, "Well, heck, there's really not that many people out here." And
The
the
thing that
people
was weird was wild dogs in Mexico. You don't really see that in
you
the
don't,
U.S.
yeah,
too
yeah,
much, you
exactly.
know.
That's another weird thing about it. Yeah, there's pit bulls out
Gripping
there.
story.
I don't understand what is it with these dogs in
I
Mexico?
don't know, but they freaked me out.
Is it like that in China?
That's why when Border Nomad, who met you and then met me down in, he's like, yeah, I'm walking over to the graveyard. It's like, dude, there's wild dogs out at the edge of town there.
Jeez.
And I told you later, this guy went to abandoned jails and just walked out all over.
Do they have dogs like that in China? Like abandoned, like dog, like in Mexico? Like
No, not to that extent.
oh
No,
man.
it's funny. Is it true that Elvis applied to become a Mexican citizen? Well, we're thinking about it. You know, we're seriously thinking
I
about.
think I'm gonna get a place by Johnny Watt
Yeah, we're
if
all going
he's
to be near
watching.
Johnny Wad down
We're
there.
gonna get a
Yeah,
place in Rosarito. We're gonna be Johnny Watt's neighbor if you're watching, Johnny.
yeah. There you go, Spanky. Yeah, so we'll
That's
be.
my guy, Johnny Watt.
Yeah,
He knows what he's doing, man.
Johnny Wad. Almost
As
spit your Dr Pepper out.
Johnny's the smartest YouTuber on her
Well, he's a
because
smart guy. He's got a good life. He's got a good life down there in Mexico for sure. But yeah, somebody nailed it. You could kind of tell daily as I did my daily like morning thing in Mexico. I was starting to get, you guys don't know how good we have it in America. Just because of
the
this,
variety
you
of
go,
food,
yeah, the
the
variety of
variety of
food.
food that we have
I
is
mean, you go to Berkeley or something, and
yeah.
Marshall would flip his lids if he went to Berkeley. And, oh, here's House of Curries here, and here's Jamaican, and here's Ethiopian over here, and here's
But
Syrian, and here's
but the thing
Persian.
is, you have to go to Mexico City, which is a
Yeah, but why
truly
do I need to
large.
travel to Mexico City to have a variety of food? I go to Mexico City because I'm interested in life. What's
Life
life
what's like
like
out
down
there.
there?
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
that's just me.
I think you
Uh,
have to compare Mexico. Uh,
I'm not
base
sure, Susie.
you can't base the whole country of Mexico just based upon a border town. You go to
Oh no,
Mexico
no,
City,
I don't.
you go to an
I don't.
international.
I don't. I don't.
It's
I feel that way about Guadalajara. It's the art
right,
capital of, all the
right.
famous artists and the beautiful arts and stuff. But I'm saying it's so good in America because we are a melting pot. You can have Polish food in Chicago. You can have German food. You can have the Italian food. Isn't that fantastic?
To have
The
all
Indian food.
to have all those, yeah,
Yeah, and
that is
the chili chicken thing, and I
right.
mean it's amazing to me.
The variety that we have,
Yep,
yeah.
and I really like that. I really like that. I mean, to me, it's like that's great. So I don't get that. Like there aren't. Tijuana, you could get a variety of food, like Starbucks, and you could go. It was becoming Americanized, wasn't it? Like Avenida de Revolucion and all that. So.
Yeah,
Yeah, and I think Mexico City's bigger than that. I think Mexico City's the largest city in the
Mexico
world,
City is
followed by
huge. Yeah,
Shanghai, China. So
if you're gonna want something to compare to San Francisco, LA, you got to compare a big city to a big city. You know,
yeah, Linda
uh,
says I'm a picky eater. See, I used to be till I hit China, and then I just didn't even. I didn't even care anymore. I ate. I'm sure I ate dog and cat and dog and cat and all that kind of crap on there, and I didn't care anymore because I never got sick one day in China, and nothing was refrigerated, and it's just they've got that down to such a science, in China and stuff that now I can eat anywhere, eat anything at all. Is Middle Eastern food spicy, Susie? You can adjust it.
Uh,
Uh, right? You can go in like we went into the Indian restaurant. And it's like you told them a little bit, medium
right.
spicy or something like that. So, um, it all depends,
I think that just like you say, Santa Rosa has its different quadrants. It's the same thing with Mexico and the other country. Each place has its own thing, um, its own region, its own food, its own culture.
But
You know,
didn't you think it was weird though? In Mexicali, we had such a density of Chinese influence in Mexico. That was kind of weird, you
that was
know.
kind of weird. Yeah, yeah, that
I mean,
was
that was different. That was, they had the whole little friendship thing at the border entry of
right,
the pagoda, the Chinese pagoda, and all
right,
that stuff.
right.
And not that I found that was really weird. Yeah, 21 million people were in Mexico City, and then I think Shanghai is about 16 million or something like that. So
Yeah, I just think that uh, Mexico is just a very interesting country to me. If I compare United States, Mexico, and Canada, I just have a vested interest in
like
Mexico.
I didn't see much in the way of vegetable consumption in Mexico. I saw
Right,
a lot of meat, a lot of tortillas.
right.
They would have the pico de gallo and some of the other things that you could put on, but it didn't seem to be a lot of variety. Thank you, Spanky. It didn't seem to be
So,
a lot of
so Rosie,
variety.
why do you think that if you would compare Mexican, we got three cultures: Mexican, American, and Canadian, right? Right here, just in our
Well,
backyard, right?
yeah, three countries,
Three
yes,
three countries,
right.
okay. And I mean, are there any are there any
Thank you, Cheryl. 26 million people live in
right?
Shanghai.
Is there? I am more interested in Mexican culture than American and Canadian.
Well,
Is there anything about the Mexican culture, life, country that interests you? Now that you've got your feet wet a little bit, I mean, is there anything that like
I'm interested in the beaches, fishing. I'm interested in varying the food scene now. Would be a major goal of mine to not leave Mexican food, but to push away from the taco and start moving into other
into
Mexican
other
food, more indigenous type of foods that people would
people
eat.
would eat? Okay,
You know,
right.
because I'm fascinated by the food scene down
Right.
there. So how about you? I think the people are friendly. I'd like to,
Well,
I dread ever running into some badasses in Mexico. That's my only fear. We got, you know,
I,
I told you before, money's tight, and maybe not so much inside of the towns, but you start getting out on the open roads, and it's like, you got to imagine somebody hops out, 4 or 5 guys with machine guns or
machine guns.
something,
Yeah.
and what are you going to do? It's, you
That's
know.
the. But if that was the case, and they wouldn't have, I guess, Carnival cruises going to Ensenada, but we don't really know what's in between. I mean, people have driven there. A lot of RVers have driven the Baja on YouTube,
Okay.
and they say it's safe
Yeah,
in there.
I'm not
So
particularly thinking about the Baja, but let's say I'm not sure if I would drive into Mexico City. You might be safe on major highways, right? Or fly into a place like Mexico City and just commit to be there for a month. A month,
well,
taking it takes like a rental or something like that. Yeah, Acapulco.
right,
I still think the most fun thing we could do is go to Tijuana, rent that blown out hotel room on the street and have some of the local girls come up and have a party and
An adult
stuff.
streaming
Tell
house.
Johnny Wad, come on
Tell
up.
Johnny Wad to come on over
Take
from
Tara down,
Rosalito.
and have a
See,
bang
that's what
and
I.
live stream that from
That's what I told.
live stream that
That's
from
what I told
Tijuana.
Rosie. One thing is, I recommended to her. All these people that are doing live streams on YouTube, all you YouTubers out there. If Rosie was to go to Tijuana and do a streaming house, she wouldn't need one YouTuber to come there because there's so many people
Oh
there.
yeah.
There's so much going on. There's so many people.
I just fear the girls would just do something on camera, like just boom,
Well-
open up their tops
Well,
or show their coochies.
think about it.
And that's the
You
end
walk
of it.
down a block in Tijuana,
All right, take care, Susie.
and you've got 30 T-girls on one block.
And that's just one block.
And that's just one block.
Yeah.
You walk next to the next block, you got another 50
Yeah.
girls. I mean, you're talking about, and you
I mean,
want to talk about
I say,
ratings.
baby, grab a couple bottles of tequila and
Yeah.
let's get going.
Hey,
Yeah,
you want to talk about.
We're not coming back.
You want to talk about ratings. You want to talk about numbers. You want to talk about streaming house.
That's the ultimate stream.
You don't need to invite anybody with a streaming house. They're already there.
Wouldn't
And
that? Yeah, you are forever. Wouldn't that be the ultimate streaming
it would
adventure?
blow.
All of a sudden, you don't even warn people. You just go live, and people are like, "Oh my God!" There's like, are they in a whole house in
Well, the thing is, you got to have the place, and you got to have all the people in there ready to go, and that's the thing. So, Tijuana is the best place I've ever been to in my life. There's nothing that can compare, and I can't believe that I didn't go there.
Hey, how you
earlier in
doing,
life.
Rory? What's going on, honey?
If I would have known,
Say hi to Vegas Vixen out there.
hey, how you doing, Vegas Vixen?
See if she'd come down to the Tijuana
Tijuana,
streaming house.
and
Rory,
exactly.
will you come to the Tijuana streaming house?
And if I would have known I knew about Tijuana years ago, and I say to myself, man, the best years of my life in my 20s, I
could have
wasted driving around in Chicago, freezing my butt off, man. I could have been there in my 20s,
That's it.
you know, and
Well, we do share. I'm just saying that's it's funny. I mean, that would be like the ultimate streaming house from a blown out hotel room with multiple cameras, one on the street, one in the.
okay, like Rosie, she holds the bar high. Look, Rosie, you boasted about these Santa Rosa tacos, and none of them can
No, I
touch
never boasted about a Santa Rosa taco. I said the Mexican food is pretty darn good in Santa Rosa. You haven't really scratched the surface, except on a taco truck. You've not been to the next tier up of places. Now, for me,
we're talking taco
I'm not
truck
boosting. I'm
versus-
not boasting about it. I'm just saying they throw down a pretty good thing.
Not as good as.
Well,
in other
you're not
words,
in Mexico,
right?
Okay.
They
So-
throw down a good taco here.
Yeah,
but
look
it's
at all
not
the
a-
time Marshall wasted.
It's not as good as
Be nice, biker.
as
We're having fun
Tijuana.
tonight.
or algodones.
Elvis likes him some tea. I think a lot of guys like tea girls, waffles, to tell you the truth.
But I'm not gonna mention waffles because he's just another person that wants to channel build since 2014.
Anyway,
But-
let's keep it on track. Anyway,
But well, what I was saying is,
I like
is
that. I wasted all those years traveling.
Think about it for a second. You're in your 20s and you're driving around. Think about this for a second. I'm in the ghettos of Little Rock, Arkansas, right off of I-30, and you're driving around, and I remember this. I had a chick in my vehicle,
Be careful now.
and no, I'm not getting anything go. I got my vehicle in drive, and right when I'm in drive, She takes my shifter and tries to put it in park, almost burns my transmission up. And then
Talk
now
about
think about this.
talk about
Hold on.
the
You want to
talk
talk
about random. It's like
you
when
want to
it's
talk
like when
about
Narce told the girl in the truck in Florida, "Don't put my window up." Next thing you know, she puts the window down. I
hey,
mean,
you want to talk about hood chooching? You want to talk about big time Rosie O'Kelly? You know where this happened at?
hmm
This happened on R Street. Okay? Now you want to know R Street? R Street is right off of I-30 before you get to the bridge when you get over downtown Little Rock. Let me tell you something.
No,
This
I
happened in
think that's
front
funny.
on the corner of a crack house, of a 2-story crack house, okay? Where the pimps and drug dealers and crack
I
holes
just
are
like
at.
that. You just put your thing in Parkway.
And let me tell you something. A block away from there is one of those little church, those gospel
She
Baptist
probably
churches.
thought you wanted to park or something.
Now, let me tell you something.
Just threw the damn thing in the park.
I've seen some things in my life
That's
that
funny.
would make Rosie O'Kelly's prostate leak. Okay? You want to talk about hood chooching? I've been doing hood chooching.
Come on, Marshall.
I've been
Let's not reinvent the wheel, man.
We're
Okay,
talking,
good night,
man.
Sandy. Yeah, you're welcome, honey.
I've
Good
been
to
in
see
the
you,
ghetto.
babe.
What you people don't realize, you know what I've seen in my life? I'm 37 years old, man.
Yeah.
I lived in Little Rock, Arkansas. I've been to the south side
Cheryl's
of Chicago.
like she wanted to get the hell out of the vehicle. It's like
Let me tell you something.
final desperation move.
Yeah. Hey, you want to know the classic moment? Let me tell you the classic moment. There was a woman, there was a black BBW. I'm talking thick. That I picked up in
Just
my 20s.
the way you like them. Yeah.
Just the way I like them. You want to talk about hood? I picked this chick up, right?
Watch
in
how you
Arkansas.
phrase things.
All I'm
Okay.
saying is, I gave her a ride.
Mm-hmm.
And there was this hotel room that was on I-30 in University. And this is one of those really dark, dingy rooms, okay? You're talking about a $20 room.
Talking about Mexicali, dark.
Now listen. I'm gonna speak in metaphor here, right? The king,
Yeah, please do.
the king was styling and profiling. And what happened was, at the end of the production, the king made some really good garlic sauce, some garlic yogurt sauce, right? And the garlic yogurt sauce was drizzled on, you know what? I'm going to tell you what, hold on a second. There's a gas station called Dodge's Gas Station, okay? And they sell turkey drumsticks. Well, when the king was all said and done, the garlic yogurt sauce was inadvertently drizzled on that drumstick.
You're so gross.
And then they said, and then the whole saying was, "You got that garlic sauce on my drumstick, boy." That was one of the greatest memories of all time.
Oh man.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm gonna get another beer. So take over. No more of your funky stories, okay?
Now all I'm saying
I don't
is,
want to know about garlic sauce drizzled on.
now all I'm saying is, in the 20s, just like any young man, you know.
Yeah, keep it clean.
Yeah.
I don't want it.
Like a sniper, the king had a good shot. You know what I'm saying?
I gotta wipe that thought from my mouth.
Yeah. And the king still got a good shot. And Johnny Wad, let me tell you something, brother. If you're in Tijuana, if you're in Rosarito Beach, believe me, the king's gonna have a lot of good shots. And I'm talking about bullseye shot. In Rosarito Beach, Johnny Wad, if you're watching. So that's the famous story of the African American BBW, the $20 room on University now 30. That hotel ain't even there yet. And the Dodgers gas station turkey drumstick. Man, memories, 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 man. What a life. Just remembering all the good memories, in your 20s, man. You do a lot of things in your 20s. That was one of the most memorable moments in my 20s, Man, the memories, the memories, the memories. That's the memories I had, Vegas Vixen. The good old days in my 20s. Remember when you were in your 20s, Vixen? I got my Grey Goose is kind of hitting the spot now. Remember those memories in your 20s, Vixen? Good old days, honey. Remember all the things you did in your 20s, Vixen? You remember?
Better not be talking about turkey drums.
No. But that's a classic story. That's a real. Hey, man, that's what I get. I laugh when I see your chooches. Man, I was drive chooching Little Rock. I can tell you, I can write a book on this. Man, I can't believe that I'm already almost 40 years old. I'm going to be 38 years old in a month, man. December 10th. You want to talk about chooching?
You're already angling for a big birthday celebration for your grandchildren.
Think about it for a second.
Marshall's already angling. What's my birthday gonna be like?
I can do a whole hangout on the crazy things I did in the hood, Rosie. You want to talk about hood? Chooching with a... Come on, man. I did so many crazy things in the hood for years. I could do a whole hangout show on this. But that was a classic story, though. That's a true story.
Sounds pretty classic. It's one of those things I'm glad I wasn't there.
You could have been with me.
Little Rock hasn't been the same. Okay, yeah, that's fine. I'm 46'6". I'm not sure what that. I was 6'6" German. Oh man,
Well,
give him your electric and water bill. Yeah, we'll
a Chevrolet Silverado, a bench seat, and you can't find a hotel room. Undisclosed parking lot, and I can't tell you the parking lot. 3 in the morning, leave an electric cowboy. Leave it to your imagination. You can't find a room.
Oh man.
Chevrolet Silverado, bench seat, dark parking lot. You want to talk about chooching?
Hey man, if it's not on video, it never happened.
Let me tell you something.
I'm just saying. Let me tell you something, brother.
Talk about hood chooching. I can talk about the hood and
hey, the
all the crazy stuff.
Marine Corps birthday's on your birthday.
Who?
The Marine Corps. The United States, the founding of the United States Marine Corps, December 10th.
I wonder what I have around December 10th, significant things on my birthday. I was born at 3:38 p.m. at University Hospital in Little Rock. But I can tell you, you want to talk about the hood? Phew, I can tell you stories in my 20s, what I did in the hoods of Chicago and Little Rock. One after the other. I did a lot more than walk around with a camera, I'll tell you that much.
Hey, you're at a skydiving event. That's cool, Adina. Nice to see you.
The 20s were the greatest time of my life.
Good night, Olivia.
Man. I love my 20s.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Well, have a good night. That's a comment that'll never see the light of chat on here. There we go. Anyway.
And I know Lemon Day Elephant liked my story because she's a big fan.
Yeah.
What's going on, Lemon Day?
Yeah, I'd say you've definitely lived life. That's...
Hey, and Blue Waffles, I got a story in Arlington for you too, man. I was in Arlington. I came to Arlington, Texas, Blue Waffles.
Yeah.
Yep, there's that troll right there. We know who that is. So, man, I've been in the Twilight Zone. I've done a lot of stuff in your 20s. Your 20s are always your craziest years in life, right, Rosa?
The what?
Your 20s.
20s is a decade of discovery. You're moving out of childhood and you're becoming a man or a woman. So
right.
you're feeling your way forward. A lot of people don't like their 20s
Really?
just because of that. You know, they're discovering themselves and the
Figuring
world,
out
and
what's going on
they're
exactly.
moving away from mommy and daddy and out into the real world, and they're finding how the real world is not fairy tales
Oh
and
yeah.
golden books and all that
That's the
kind of
time
thing.
you learn the hard way. Is your 20s. I learned so much in my 20s, you know. And then when you get to your 30s, you're all settled. That's it.
Yep.
You pretty much know who you
Yeah,
are
your
and what you're gonna do.
30s tend to be 30s. I think most people, yeah, the
Settle down.
20s last like 5 minutes, and so
But the 20s were. Let me tell you something, Rosie. The 20s. When I was in my 20s, I had that get up and go. And you want to talk about, man, it was exciting. It was exhilarating. You know what I'm saying? And I want to bring that back. I miss being in my 20s. I miss when I was 21 years old and I used to go out and drive chooch and cruise for 6 hours. Stay up till 6 in the morning and go to work next day. You want to talk about, yeah, that's what I used to do. There's a lot of things that I did. There's no way I could do it right now. My body couldn't handle it. I used to go to work the next day not with no sleep, you know, sleep on the job.
Yeah, the 30s I think is a great.
The 30s,
30s
everything calms down.
is a great thank you. Yeah, just get rid of that one.
Because right when you get to about,
It's Carlos Martinez.
yeah, right when you get to about your 30s, your hormones are not raging like they were in the 20s. Everything starts to slow down.
God forbid, I would have hated to see you in in your
And,
20s.
but man,
Yeah, Julie said you're 37, lose weight, work out, your 20s will be back. You know.
I miss my 20s because of the energy level I had. The energy level, the get up and go. I was uh, an urban explorer like Rosie. The only difference is I would. It
See,
came.
but I was a ham and egger. You
I was a
know.
ham and egger too.
Well, I'm just saying, all through that era,
Yeah,
ham and egg and hard
hard. Yeah.
during that period. So, but I lived for the weekends,
All for the
around
weekends.
Baltimore and stuff. I mean, it had its moments.
Did you ever cruise around, Rosie? Like drive around, cruise around?
Cruising wasn't really a big thing
Really?
there.
You didn't do that? So you were
Didn't do a lot of cruising. No.
just bars.
Yeah, didn't do a lot of. We'd go to
Uh,
we'd check out different areas of the city, like Fells Point, down on the waterfront. Would have a different scene than say around the stadium and stuff like that. Would be a whole nother scene. And then
well, see, I was
then we go to the block, which was
okay.
the adult entertainment area of Baltimore for bachelor parties
Oh,
and
I see.
things like that.
Okay, you remember what we did in Detroit? You remember how long we did that driving church?
Oh
I
yeah,
used to do that 3 times a week in my
yeah,
20s.
that's crazy.
Yeah, I used to do that.
Some people can't lose weight around a treadmill for hours a day and would drink a glass of water. Yeah, Carlos, just like you came in this morning and said that Uber Goober had been swatted, something else you made up. Let's see. I worked. Yeah, I'm enjoying now. I feel good.
You were
Uh,
just working hard in your 20s. You really didn't enjoy your 20s that much, right? You were just working, 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 right?
yeah, I mean it was working and all that. So
I think Rosie had the most fun when you were in China. If I'm picturing my life as Rosie, I would think
I
that she
mean,
had the
I
most
enjoyed my time in Manila and Taipei and Taiwan and all that. I mean, it was a lot of
party,
fun.
party, right?
Yeah, it was.
Work hard, play
Well,
hard.
when the workday was over, you know, they
You
would. I
spent
got
more. Yeah.
moderators that just take that out. So, let's see. I know Carlos.
I think maybe the most exhilarating time in Rosie's life when she was in Asia. I think she was in Asia, what, 5, 6 years?
You made money making stew. Yeah.
That was probably the coolest time. If I was Rosie O'Kelly, if I lived her life, I'd probably say my funnest time would
Too
be in.
much time on airplanes, and
Really?
airlines, flying all the way. Just a lot of time flying here and there. Each experience brings its own thing. It does, But I can appreciate Marshall, that dynamic of being that age and There were too many, Patricia, it's already being taken care of by my moderators. There's not much more I can do about it. So it's just the way it's the way it is right now.
Well, in my 20s, okay, in my teens and 20s, when I got left my dad's house, when I was in Tijuana, it brought back the old me in my 20s. It reminded me of myself when I was in my 20s. You know,
Yeah, thank you, Coco.
I think Tijuana defines who I am. Really, I think the city of Tijuana, the lifestyle, the culture, it defines me who I am. The only difference is in America, back in the old days, you had to drive around.
Well,
Now,
you don't
with
see the emphasis on money driven culture in Mexico that you see here. The pace of life slows. It's like America's like a 78 record and
well, they have
Mexico's like a 33. You know, it's
they have a money-driven culture there. It's different than our money-driven culture. You know what I'm saying? People are out there trying to make a living, trying to make a buck. But what I'm saying is the unique thing about
I
Tijuana.
didn't see it as an acquisitive society like go out and get more and more toys and things like that. I saw people happy to just have what they have and not,
Well, we
they seem
really,
to be more into each other and people. They seem to be much more. Remember the
uh,
park where they were set up that night in Los Algodones?
exactly,
They
yeah,
had the flea market
the
and
flea market,
yeah,
and that's what. See, that's what I'm trying to get to. The difference. What's the difference between the culture of Mexico and the United States? Okay, when
oh,
you
okay,
wh-
Brandon, thank you.
when you go to a park in Mexico like Las Algodones, you will see women, wives, children talking to each other, conversing.
Yeah,
You see a warmth in the people. You
yeah,
see the
that's what I
camaraderie.
was trying to
And
say.
in the United States, I can be here. I've been here by Rosie for a while, and I haven't seen her talk to her neighbor yet. And you see, if she was in Mexico, that wouldn't be the case. She'd be at her neighbor 2, 3 times a week, barbecuing, eating. The people have a camaraderie and warmth and connection that we don't have in America.
That's what
America,
I was trying to say
we
about
don't
when I
have it
crossed
here.
into
That's
Mexico.
right.
I felt like things slowed down and people actually listened to what each other said and
Exactly.
they looked like they cared
And they're
about your.
conversing with each other,
Yes,
and
yeah, I would agree with that because
and you
that.
can see just by a guy buying some corn elotes or a
Yeah,
taco, you'll see they'll sit there and have a conversation for 5 or 10 minutes.
yeah.
You don't see that here. You go to a place, you order and leave. There's no. I don't know what it is with America. It's just we have a very cold culture when it comes to communication. Everything is about to get up and go here.
Now,
Everybody's in a
Brandon
hurry.
says, Elvis, you're from the South. You've seen that warmth and connection in Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina. Go to Spartansburg, South Carolina, and tell me people aren't super nice to strangers there.
Well, the
There is Southern
in
hospitality,
in the South, you'll see people hanging out at the Waffle House for a long time. Uh, my dad used to go to Waffle House. The Waffle House is a big deal in the South. You'll see that in the South. You'll see that camaraderie
God.
where people will spend hours sitting at the Waffle House. You'll see that in the South. It's a Southern thing.
I just wish they
Um,
would wipe the tables with and get the grease off the tables at the
but when you look at a
waffle.
place like Santa Rosa, right here, this is a get up and go place. You know, this is not a place where you're going to find a Waffle House and you're going to see the old geezer there in his newspaper and his coffee and sitting there talking to the waitresses for 3, 4 hours. This is not the kind of
No.
place. This is a get up, hustle, get up and go kind of place. And what reminds me of Mexico is, it reminds me, yes, it does remind me of the South. The South has that. It has uh, um, that camaraderie, that people have in the South, that people don't have in cosmopolitan cities. I mean, heck, you had somebody that was Rosie went to the taco truck here, and this guy right behind Rosie's like, Do you know any of the meaning of space here? In other words, you get the complete opposite. You go to Mexico and you sit down and you can talk to a complete stranger.
Look, this guy was jumping my crap when I'm trying to do a video, and I finally had to knock the guy down. Okay.
Right. So the thing is that America is a get up and go culture.
Yeah,
You know the old saying.
Thunderbird said in the U.S. you'll see couples at restaurants each staring at the phones like zombies and not even looking at each other.
That's what it is. And in the South, yes, we have the aspect of the South of that camaraderie. That's good. When people have communication, when people were warm, and you're losing that because now, most people have their face stuck in their phone. They can't get their face off the phone. And that's the problem. And they don't have that in Mexico. They got smartphones in Mexico. They got smartphones
Yeah,
there.
I know.
But people put the damn thing down and they talk to each other. They communicate. They have a warmth. And that's
where
where
Marshall's like, I look forward to the day when Rosie sits the phone down and does video and edit.
That's what I'm saying. With Rosie, I've told her there's a time to put that phone down. Get off the phone, get off the YouTube, get off the editing, and enjoy life. Talk to people, man. That's what life is all about.
It's like, he's like, man, what are you doing,
When you got somebody that goes live 3-4 hours a day and 3-4 hours of editing, that's 8 hours of your life, boom. I think there's a time that Rosie needs to put the phone down. Like she went on a fishing trip, she had to put it down to go fish.
Scottish.
So that's just my opinion. But don't you think people in Mexico have that warmth?
Yeah.
And
I don't think they value money per se as much as relationships with other people in the streets. Like you can tell, like on the street corner in Los Algodones, the locals like to come down, sit with you at the table, and they talk to you. You ask, hey, where's the cat house? Where's the bar here? And stuff like that.
And I love the people.
And the guy's like, man, I'm glad you asked me.
And they love telling you. They love and
there you go, Scottish. I love that, baby.
I love Los Algodones. I would live there.
They're smooth. How
because
you doing,
the people
smooth?
are so friendly. The people are just so friendly. I love the people.
Yeah, how you doing, smooth?
How you doing, smooth operator? But
that's what I think.
Everybody's saying
the best thing about Marshall is, as I've said before, he can go to a town and identify instantly who to talk to get information, so you don't have to waste a day just trucking around.
There would be no way I would have found that cat house on the internet. You have to know this was such a hidden place upstairs.
Plus the Google Maps isn't working.
Nothing.
You can't,
You're at the mercy of the locals. You don't know what you're doing.
It is.
So either you get information and learn how to travel internationally, or you just have your face in
the Aussie. Marshall's like, you got to cut to the chase here. You can't put the phone down.
But I love the people of Los Algodones. Here's Robert Wilbur. How you doing there?
Of course, Brandon. But there's different. Most people don't want to be a doctor. Most people don't aspire, they aspire to different things in life. I see young people today with less hustle for a buck. They're more about social media and being connected and being influencers, and they don't seem to care about the buck as much.
I guarantee you, if Rosie lived in Algodones, she could have.
Well, I was already a star, man.
Exactly.
Did I get my picture with you?
if Rosie had a house in Algodones right now, we wouldn't be sitting just me and her here. We'd have 10 people.
Oh yeah.
We'd have tacos and food. We'd have a whole party, and that's the difference.
That's why I said it'd be cool to rent a place for a month and just hang out.
The problem with America is, heck, you can be over here and not talk to your neighbor for years. That's just the way our culture is. Because our culture here is based upon money. People worship money in America. It's all about the money. They don't care about anything else but money. That's what fuels America. And money is poison, greed is poison.
There you go, Julie. I love
That's the problem. That's the problem.
Yeah, there you go, Julie. Even if you don't aspire for a buck, if you have a Jewish mama, you're made to. There you go.
That's the problem. And money is not the end all and be all of everything. Rosie's
Well, I'm
right.
just saying you're seeing a culture that, because of economic stress, doesn't naturally put that emphasis on people. In other words, you need something to fill the void. We've seen some people on YouTube that aspire to have tremendous luxury goods to fill a void of
Avoid.
happiness in their lives. That need to show people, hey, I have something special that most of you are never going to have in your life.
Yeah.
Now, different people in different cultures and
Right.
even in America, they don't value that as much. They
Right.
value social connectivity.
Exactly.
How popular are? Did your phone ring on Friday night? Hey man, we're having a party. We want you to be there. Man, that hits their
That
happiness
is their
bell.
happy
You
spot.
know?
And some people, like I said, that's the difference. It's a key difference, really. There's people out there
There
that
you go. What is that, Neil? There you go, Neil.
there's people out there, a lot of people, majority of people in America, possession and money to them equals their happiness. And there's people who are minimalist and they don't care about that. They don't care about it. And that's the point.
That's why I think
It's a
you
key
felt.
thing.
That's why I think you felt good in Mexico, because people weren't banging on you about what do
Right.
you have in life, or what are you driving, or how much money do
Everybody's
you
the
have.
same.
Everybody's the same.
And
Yeah.
that's the way I like it.
Yeah,
Exactly.
the acceptance was complete. You
They
know,
accepted me as one of them.
right.
Yeah, they accept that. That's
And I
and the
think I hit
problem.
the nail on the head of why you liked it so
That's
much.
why I liked
Because,
it exactly. And if you go to any place here in America, and people are going to look at you. What are you wearing? What are you driving? How much money you got? And
yeah,
what do you have to offer me?
yeah,
That's the problem.
they seem blind in Mexico to any
They
of
don't
that
care
stuff.
about that.
Yeah,
Nope, they don't.
you
And that's
know.
what I like about it. That's what I love about Mexico. They're so warm, and they understand. It's like, hey, I came here to get my teeth fixed. I can't afford it in America. I
Right.
can't do it, and that's the reality. And that's what's beautiful about
Well,
the
they
Mexican culture.
probably hear that a million times from
Right,
people that
exactly.
come in here.
So that's the connection I have. So the
I
connection.
finally hit the nail on the head of why you like that
Wow.
society.
Right.
I thought there was, because every time you cross that border,
Right.
you're crossing an invisible curtain
Right.
of, like a no judgment zone down there.
Exactly. Yep.
You know,
And it feels like you're at one with the people. I don't feel that I'm at one with
like in America,
America. I don't feel
we
right.
measure success most times by money and things like
And
that.
possessions. See, that's the problem that we have here, and the culture in Mexico with
Patricia, just I'll add some things to my block list tomorrow.
and
So
there's so much freedom there when it comes to social life and the adult
yeah,
life. Here it's so it's
I think I just spit up a fur ball. Anyway,
yeah. We're living in such a prison state over here. I don't know if you people realize that we're in a prison planet here in America. There is no freedom here, folks. I can go to Hooters and look at a girl the wrong way and get arrested for sexual harassment. In Mexico, you had guys in San Luis that were touching the girls and spanking their butt and all that, and it's a whole different world. It's a whole different society. It's way beyond what you
yeah, they
people
were
can.
spanking roses in my butt in the bar. And it's like,
Right,
whoa, dude, I don't even know you.
and that's what I love about it. The freedom.
Well, see, to you, that's a plus side.
That's
To me, it was kind of degrading in that situation. We both wanted to kind of bug out of there
and that's
and
what I love
split.
about it. That freedom that they give people, that they give men, that they give, and I love it. I connect with the Mexican people. I connect with them, and if I could find out a way to be a Mexican citizen and live there forever, I would never come back to the United States.
Hey, how you doing, Dawn?
That's my goal in my life, actually, is to become a
Yeah,
Mexican
there you go.
citizen, to live in Mexico, and to die in Mexico. If I could do that, or maybe Thailand, or maybe somewhere else. But I know one thing that I figured out in my life. I'm not going to spend a lot of time in America. I'm not gonna spend a lot of time here, and that's my goal. I'll take Mexico any day because I connect with the people, I connect with the culture, I connect with the warmth,
I don't
and
know.
that's my goal. And that's why Johnny Watt is in Rosarito Beach, and that's my message to everybody out there, every man out there that wants to
Hey Monique, how you
live
doing,
life
sweetie?
and have a good time. Mexico is a place, especially Tijuana. So I have a connection,
I
man.
would say very much that it's a 1950s sort of mentality down
Really?
there. 1950s to 60s, you know. But yet I think women are happy in that society.
Right.
They hold decent jobs. And I think for the most part they're very respected by guys they work with, at the
Right.
pharmacies and places like that. So there
Right.
is I'm doing good, Monique, sweetie, but there
Heck, a
is,
lot of
yeah.
women there have their own dental office. They're educated in algodones and maybe other parts of Mexico. It's not. They don't treat their women bad. It's all. There's a lot of women there that are
Yeah, I
successful
think I think that's
that
one of the
have.
things. If like I like to try to apply an international standard to my thinking. Like you expect to see women treated well, and this is
Right.
one of the things that I really respected about China. Really respected because China came out of a very women second class
Right.
citizen, women bind your feet, all these kind of things in China. But when communism came in, Mao Zedong was like, well, women hold up half the sky, and we have to start having them work as hard as men, and they they work themselves into position. They work themselves up culturally into uh, gender respect in China today.
Oh, okay.
That you don't see a lot of that. Within China, I saw the most equality I ever saw over there. So slap some dentists or pharmacists in Mexico and see how it goes. So we tend to apply some of our American standards to cultures that it would be foreign to them. That thing like, yeah, the women don't mind the pat on the butt and stuff like that. But yet I can say the same thing in the
Yeah.
1960s here in America. That
I think Tara, and our friend Tara in San Diego really, 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 she had a good point. I asked her, I said, what do you think about Las Vegas? And she said, it's a rich man's playground. That's the truth. If you've got money and money is no object, then Vegas is the place for you. But if you're a hard-working person, if you're living paycheck to paycheck, if you're working minimum wage, okay, and you're a single man, you want to have a good time, forget about Vegas, forget about anywhere else in the United States. Go straight to Tijuana, to Algodones, or any of these other border towns. It's just come to the point where life in America, even living just a regular life, having a vehicle and staying in an apartment and having a girlfriend has become unattainable for a person who's just slave waging on a 9 to 5
hey, what's up,
minimum wage
Juice?
job. It's unattainable. You can't do it anymore. That's why the RV community is growing and van life is growing. Bottom line. I know there's a lot of women watching, but that's the
I learned a
reality.
lot of Chinese that get by very comfortably in China. Could you really live in Mexico without speaking Spanish? You can adopt Spanish very quickly, I believe. It's not really a difficult language to learn. You pick up vocabulary very
Right.
quickly, and because you want to. See, the trick to learning foreign languages, if you're in Mexico and you're like, man, I really wish I could speak Chinese, that's different than being in a schoolroom, in a
Hmm.
schoolhouse, in high school, and open your books to
Right.
page 23. We're going to read some Jean Valjean, Le
Right.
Chandelier de la Bec, French class. I mean, it's totally different. If you live there, then you're like, man, I got to communicate ASAP. So you're driving yourself hard every day to learn.
I think I have a plan in my life. People ask me, where do you see yourself 10 years in Elvis Travels? I'll tell you where. either I'm going to, in 10 years, I'm going to be full-time living in Mexico, or I'm going to go back to the northern mountains of Iraq, back to where my people were from, my Syrian people, and I'll settle there in a village right there in northern Iraq.
I guess if I go, I'll have to wear a full
with my people,
burqa and not
and
talk.
because the people, I'm going to go back where I belong, where my DNA came from, where my family's from, and
Hi y'all, welcome to Iraq. Woo!
I might live this van life another 5
You're
years.
like, she can stay, Marshall. You gotta
But
go.
I'm planning a pathway to get out of America. I might go to Mexico, I might be Iraq, I might be Thailand, but I know one thing. I'm not going to live in America, and I'm not going to die in America. And I promise everybody that. And I don't know if I'll be here
If
for
I
5
didn't
years
think
or
I
10
would
years.
die, I would go to Iraq in a heartbeat, and Turkey and all of those places, you know.
But I know one thing. I'm not going to die in America. That's a given. And I'm not going to live here that much longer. In other words, you know what they say?
Keep your voice down, son.
My Syrian friend, you know what he used to say? He's like, Ana arkham lacha. I am a
What's that
visitor.
mean? Get the legs in
Arkham means visitor. I am a visitor of the United States of America. I am visiting
Hey,
here.
Blinky, how you doing, babe?
And I will be leaving anytime. You never know. I could go to Philippines, Thailand. I could go
What's
to...
that funny thing you told me? And it's here, get those legs in here.
Right. My goal, this is my life goal, is to get out of America and to go somewhere else. Because I want to experience life, culture, women, food. And America is a rich man's country, bottom line. It's a third world banana republic that's going down.
There you go.
And it's a rich man's country, and it's going down. America is going down. Rosie doesn't want to tell you because she doesn't want doom and gloom and talk about economy, but it's going down.
I want to be, you know, I don't have that many more years left on planet Earth, and I want them to be, I want them to be relatively happy. In other words, if I travel now and I die, I've pretty much accomplished what I needed to do. And I mean, so it's all like I'm free riding now from here on forward. So I can take my risk level up quite a bit, you know.
Well, traveling, it's all about travel. Life is all about travel. That's all it is.
Yeah.
And hey, Rosie's got two choices. I can see she can sit there and have an 8-hour panel, or she can go out there and explore the world. Life is short. Hey, Rosie could have 20 years, 30 years. She might have 40 years.
I got nowhere.
What is she going to do?
I got nowhere I got to be on Monday. You know, so.
hey, Rosie. We don't
get those legs moving.
We don't have an alarm clock to wake up to.
That's right.
And we don't have somewhere that we got to be at a certain time. So, hey, if you want to call it, we're both probably retired.
Where is one place you want to travel to? Santa Fe, New Mexico. I have a real yearning to see a sunset in Santa Fe, New Mexico. That would be fantastic. I would like to travel to South America. I'd like to travel to, I don't have a lot of interest in Brazil, but I would like to see Argentina, Chile, Peru, Colombia. Those countries,
Colombia,
Paraguay,
Costa Rica,
Uruguay,
Argentina.
places. Yeah, Buenos Aires.
Why don't you have an interest in Brazil, Rosie?
See, Buenos Aires is cheap because their currency all collapsed and shit. So it's all like dirt cheap.
Have you heard that rich
They call it the Paris of South America.
Yeah. Have you heard that? You know what I've heard? Have you ever heard of a country called Uruguay?
Of course, Uruguay and Paraguay.
And do you know why a lot of rich people go there? Did you know why? I read this.
I don't know.
They're on both sides of Uruguay. There's two huge mountain chains, and they say it's actually the safest place in the world from a geographical disaster. And a lot of rich people are moving over there to Uruguay. That's what I've heard.
Yeah, it sounds good, Ginger, huh? So I'd love to see those places. You know.
Yeah. But you got a life to live, Rosie. You're right now. Think about it. If I was 60 years old, Rosie's in good shape. She could live another 30 years. She could make it to 90.
I would say so.
But what if she only has 20 left?
Right, or 10.
Let's just say if she's got, let's say God forbid.
Yeah, I would go to North Korea, but the only downside of North Korea, Carlos, is that They will take you on a sponsored tour. You have no freedom to walk around yourself, talk to the people. In other words, you have a tour guide. It's all pre-programmed
Oh,
state.
okay.
Now we're going to go see the statue of Kim Jong Un, lay some flowers on there, and then we'll go visit this model North Korean family, so happy and eating well. You know, it's BS. It's a Potemkin village.
I think Rosie is going to end up probably. I think he's going to end up going back and just retiring in
Thunderbird said
China.
I spent time in Ecuador and didn't want to leave. Were you in Quito, Thunderbird? Delin says most immigrants would do anything to become a citizen. Marshall can't wait to leave. Well, I guess it just depends where you were born and raised. Marshall's like, buy Elvis a ticket, and I'd go to North Korea in a heartbeat to visit it.
Well,
Uh,
America, what we're living in right now, we're $23 trillion in debt. They're printing the Federal Reserve money. It's not backed up by nothing. And the bottom line is, the bottom's going to fall out. It's just a matter of time. People are leaving every day. People are moving. People are leaving. The inflation is going up. Interest rates are low. It's about to happen. It's coming. It's coming. You know it. I know it. Everybody knows it. It's coming. It's coming, folks. And that's why people are living in vans and RVs.
Veronica.
And no, hey, for all you women out there, and others 80% women watching Rosie, hey,
Yeah, let me grab my laundry.
yeah.
After laying down in
Yeah.
that gross cabinet, I had to wash all
Oh,
my.
really? It was pretty
Remember that
disgusting.
garbage disposal job today? What a journey
Oh
that
man,
was.
that was a heck of a job, man. I don't know. It was something. I'm not trying to be the party pooper here. I'm just telling you guys.
There you go. I try to
The-
avoid that because I don't want to
Yeah.
be negative with people.
I'm trying to not be negative
I
or
don't want to tell them
apocalyptic,
what's coming down the pike, you know.
but I just want to say the writing's on the wall. The writing is on the wall. The writing's on the wall. And that's why hopefully I'm preparing myself with the van life and Lisa Marie. But when I leave this country, it's going to be a one-way ticket. Might be to Mexico, I might go to Brazil, I might be in Thailand, I might go to Iraq. Who knows where? But I know one thing. I'm getting out before the bottom falls out. Because it's coming. You guys remember 2008? I remember 2008. The bottom fell out then, and then what happened? They bailed it out. They bailed out GM and all the banks and all that. They're just putting a band-aid on a big wound. And that wound's still bleeding. And like I said, Federal Reserve, keep on bailing out, keep on printing the money. They ain't gonna do nothing. That wound's still bleeding. And you guys are about to see a big gusher. The blood. Just like the Bible says, the moon will turn red. It's coming, folks. I see it, I feel it. Look at how broken down society is. Look at Detroit. Look at Chicago. Look at Oakland. Look around you. Look at all the homeless people. The writing's on the wall. So I don't know about you guys, but I'm gonna get going while the going's good.
What's the one thing you would change about Mexico if you could, based on our multi-town city tour of?
The one thing that stood out about it, a couple things stood out about it. The smell of the sewers is terrible, and all the dogs on the street. Those are the two things I don't like about it. In Mexico, but the dogs are the
Ow.
loose animals, dogs.
Could you pop that for me? I'm just
Sure.
afraid my knuckle will split open again. There you go. Thanks. Oh.
But I'm not, like I said, Rosie. I'm not trying to be a party pooper or talk
No, I just,
apocalypse.
I
Put the writings on
I
the
know
wall.
it's coming, but I don't. You know,
you
it's
don't
like
wanna, exactly. The writings
it's
on
like,
the wall. You know what I
you
mean?
know, I mean.
So we ought might as well enjoy our life.
Yeah, I've offered to buy the van. I'll give him money, and you know, but
if I sold the Lisa Marie to Rosie, I'd be taking a one-way ticket to.
the price is going up every day now.
I would probably sell, if I sold the Lisa Marie to Rosie, I would either go back to Iraq, to my homeland, or I'd go and just live in Tijuana, and you know, I'd probably just come back to the United States, because you got to come back every 6 months, and then I would get a place for $250 a month or $200 a month and live and just enjoy life and
Forever in blue jeans.
that would be the only thing. That would be the only condition for me to sell
Yeah.
Lisa Marie. I would have to go live in Mexico full time. I'd be done with the van life. I'd be probably still doing YouTube, but I would.
The problem with Iraq, you'd be a Chaldean Christian in a Muslim country.
Right.
Number one. Number two, I don't think that the life would appeal to you over there. I don't think the sexual freedoms of the United States and other things. I think you could get yourself in a world of trouble in a society like that over
Well,
there. Number
we don't
three,
really.
I think you'd be bored out of your skull.
Well, see, Lebanon.
Not
is
Lebanon. You talked about Iraq.
Iraq.
Lebanon
Now,
is like a western
city, exactly. So what I want to, I've done a lot of research on Morocco. Okay, I think Morocco could be the place for me in the Middle East. But again, how do you really know?
You got to go spend.
You got to
time
go
there.
see it and see what's going on in the world. And the thing is,
yeah, your homeland is America.
Tijuana is the closest paradise for me here. So if I sold the van to Rosie, it'd be a one-way. I'd have some kind of a life in Tijuana for I don't know how long or whatever, but I would go to Tijuana directly. I wouldn't spend $1, 1 penny in the United States. I would establish residency and citizenship in Mexico, and I'd live in Tijuana, period.
What's up, Coach? How you doing?
And that's what I would do. And
I think he would be shocked at life in Iraq. I don't think it's as bad as people believe, but it's not as good as I think that he visualizes over there.
Well, again, we don't really know.
I mean, one of the greatest things you can do, and this was my experience. You say, Rosie, you lived 5 years in China. Now, you did that. You know, I did that years ago when it was very raw, post Tiananmen Square, with Chinese agents following you. You know, I mean, it was tough times. You live overseas for a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, like I did. Then all of a sudden you come back to America and you start to really reappreciate that was the experience I had. I'm like, oh, God, it smells so clean. The air's clean. Yeah, there's no pollution. There's nobody trying to run me down in a car. The traffic, the diesel fumes, the people. You walk down the street in Hong Kong, people are just smashing into you imagine like in Hillcrest where the guy's coming around the corner. That's every day, you know. And the noise, 24/7, the noise pollution is just astounding to me.
Right.
You don't see any green. You just see concrete, steel, and glass.
Right.
Then you come back to the United States, it's like, wow, you drive from town to town, it's all these wide open, beautiful views.
Exactly. Yeah.
And it's like, wow, it's cheap. I mean, they just sold a car park, a place to park your car for $1 million in Hong Kong, just to park your effing car.
Yep.
The quality, in other words, the quality of life is so high in the United States. This is why Chinese settle in Vancouver and come to places like San Francisco.
But the problem with the United States is It is geared towards people who are wealthy. Period. Many of us, even a place like Rosie's here.
Okay, Cheryl, take
I'm
care.
sitting in a property right now worth over $500,000. Now let's put two and two together. Rosie invested, got this place. Now it's popped up. Real estate is high. It's about to go down. We all know that. It's going to go down. But what I'm saying is, the market says that this property is worth $515,000. Is it really worth $515,000? Not really, because it's just a piece of land. But the market is dictating that.
Well,
So
the funny money running around.
exactly.
Dictating
So
that. Yeah.
the thing is that we're right up here on the roller coaster. And what happens at roller coaster when you're up? You're gonna go down, and it is going down, just like it did in 08, 09 when I lost my job and I went on unemployment for 99 weeks. It's going down. You know it. I know it. Rosie O'Kelly knows it. It's going down. And you know something? I'm gonna be getting out because this time when it goes down, it's gonna go down. It's gonna be like 33.
If I could assure my safety in Iraq, which I can't, of course, it would almost be a death sentence to me to be in Iraq. But theoretically, if I could insure 100%, in other words, if I could pay $5,000 to ensure that I would be not harmed for a month in Iraq, I would go to Iraq with you just to see how you reacted to being in Iraq.
Right.
It'd be interesting to see if it lived up to your expectations. Because you're about nightlife.
Right.
Hey,
right.
man, we don't have nightlife. Nightlife is we sit here and stare at the street
Well,
light.
the connection to Iraq is my people. Because I'm a Syrian.
It's your heritage.
It's my heritage. It's my people. It's my blood.
Yeah, that's right. That's right,
when
Jim.
you connect, Rosie has seen me connect with my Assyrian people. She's seen me talk to them, and it's different for her
Yasmin,
than me.
how you doing, sweetheart? Hey, farmer.
Because I have a connection to my people. It's through blood, and so.
I know, but think of yourself as the virile 37-year-old testosterone-laden man in Iraq. And you're like, Rosie, let's hit the night scene. Let's Google it. There ain't a night scene. And all of a sudden it's like, okay, man, we're going to go eat a lamb tonight. That's going to be the highlight of the night.
Right, but what I'm saying is that.
Thank you, Yasmin.
You have to see what's in the world. You have to do a peekaboo. A peep show. What was I doing in Tijuana, Rosie?
You were doing the looky-loo.
I was doing the looky-loo. I was popping my head into every place and figuring out, what do I like?
Thank you, farmer. My streams on, I know they piss some people off, but I'm just here to have a good time.
The thing with Rosie is, like I said, right now is a key time in Rosie's life.
I'm ready to go. I got no problem.
She's got two choices in life. Either she's going to sit here at the rancho.
That's right, Juice. No Monday Night Football.
And she's going to look into that camera and talk to you guys for 8 hours. And nothing wrong with Nicole G.
Yeah.
And she loves Nicole G. She's from Manchester.
Yeah, she's a little on the outs.
But let me tell you something.
Marshall being here, but I always love Nicole.
There's two things in life on YouTube. Either you sit in that camera and you talk to those people, or you get out there and those people watch you live your life.
Julie.
Now, Julie?
No, she says they would assume Marshall's wealthy because he's from the USA. Yeah. He will take advantage of that. They find out he isn't dead in 3 months in Iraq.
So Julie...
They can be hard on their own, I think.
No, let me tell you something with Iraq.
You want to know something? Kicking a goat head.
You want to know something about my people? You want to know something about...
Juice, you're a friggin' riot, man. Kicking a goat head around.
No, you want to know something about Assyrian people? Let me tell you the difference between Assyrian people.
We need a new field goal kicker.
Yeah. With the problem is that Rosie O'Kelly, right now...
I'm an adventure. Would you say I'm an adventurous person for my age? What are most people doing my age? They might go on a cruise. They
Exactly.
might
They
they
might
might take a trip to Alaska or something
or
on a
something like that.
cruise. Or
Exactly. Yeah.
would you say I'm more adventurous than most?
I think you're. I think Rosie is a flexible, adventurous, open-minded person. But the thing with Rosie is that when she gets focused on one thing, she sticks on it like crazy glue. And when you uh,
What does
when
that
you
mean?
when you talk about China,
Crazy
she's
glue.
already conquered China. She's already conquered Reno. She's already conquered
I've
Las
seen more
Vegas.
China than
So
America, you know.
exactly. So she's already conquered China, Reno, and Las Vegas. So she has a choice. Either she just
Oh,
she
I ain't nothing, farmer.
either she just does. Most people that are Rosie's age stick to the same routine. It's the old saying: you can't teach an old
Yeah,
dog new
it's very
tricks.
hard to get out of the
It's
rut.
very hard
Yes.
to get out of that rut. And the thing with Rosie is, I can't. It's hard for me to believe, really, that I am.
Do you see what Coach said? Your own people kick you out of Dunkin'
No,
Donuts.
but listen to this. You want to know what's extraordinary about Elvis Travels? I am the
Oh
man.
shit!
I am the man that is single-handedly, out of all the people on YouTube, I have set Rosie free. How? You might ask how. I've got her out of her rut. Her
Oh
brain was
shit!
frozen like a zombie. Reno,
Oh
Vegas, Chinese food.
man.
Reno, Vegas, Chinese food. I got Rosie to go
Yeah, I
to
try to keep as
Mexico.
long as people aren't cursing and being real mean. I don't mind. You know,
Right.
the only way you're ever going to get through trolling is, you know, you just let people have their way and just have a few laughs, and you just
Yeah.
keep doing your thing in life. You know,
I
so
think
it's like, hey, thank you, Deborah. I mean, it's like, as long as people aren't reading doxing other people out on the chat like they were with
yeah.
Vegas
I
fixing
really
it.
didn't believe that Rosie was gonna come to Mexico. I really believed that all that was gonna
You
happen
really thought I was going to get to
now yeah.
Yuma and not go
And
because
not
I've
go
already been to Los Algodones. Before you went to Mexico, I was in
I thought that
Mexico.
was gonna be it.
Yeah.
I thought she was just gonna go to Los Algodones and we'd come back to the rancho. It
No,
shocked
hell no.
me that she went more into Mexico because when you get to Rosie's age, it's hard. I have a friend that's Rosie's age, and he's a pot smoker and a pothead. My Italian friend Aldo, and he can't get out of his rut. This guy and Rosie is. It's hard for me to believe that somebody at her age is willing to get out of her routine. People have a routine when they get to Rosie's age. She already knows what she likes to eat. She
Yeah, I mean,
already
I
knows
worked
where she likes
46 years to get here to be able
to
to
be able
get
to
out
do
of the
that. Yeah.
rut. Yeah.
So when she can do something different,
I
it's
know. I love you too, Missy. No problem.
that's what's unbelievable to me. I
Now,
thought
somebody asked a good question. Let me see who it was. And I don't think it was a trolling question. I think it's
right,
a legitimate question. And I think it's a good one because you must have heard stories from your family.
right.
And this comes from Delyn. And she says, Delyn, Marshall, why did your family come to the USA?
Oh, what was the reason my family came?
Yeah. I mean, did they
And
ever tell you
yeah,
horror
I'll tell you why.
stories of Iraq?
In
And
Iraq, they had a president. His name was Abdul Karim Qasim, and he was the one who, before Saddam, he was the one who liked Christians, and he was a big supporter of Christians and bringing Iraq together as a nation. And I guess his story was he had got ousted or killed, and when Saddam's regime took over, the Ba'athist regime,
Mhm.
um, it things changed in Iraq, and it wasn't the same Iraq as it used to be. Even though Saddam was better than ISIS, things happened that changed, and led a lot of exodus of Christians out of Iraq in the 70s. This was in the 1970s, you know. Plus, the Iran-Iraq war was coming down, and the stuff in Lebanon and all that. So my family got out in the 70s before all that happened. And did you know that Assyrians, the first Assyrians that came to the United States, were in the 1920s?
I can believe that. Probably
Um,
post World War
Post
One.
World War
Yeah,
One,
yeah.
and there are Assyrians that are very highly educated that were born here in America that can't even speak Assyrian. They're first generation, and they joined the Pentecostal churches, and most of them are from Iran. They're like the creme de la creme, highly
Mm.
educated, big money Assyrians.
Yeah, it's like Armenians. A lot of the
Right?
big money Armenians
Yeah.
split after World
And
War
in
One
the
too.
'70s, a lot of Iraqis came to America. Now imagine you're my dad. You're coming here with all these kids with a wife. You can't speak a lick of English. All you can do is work at a factory, make $5 an
Right.
hour, and you're struggling to uh, to feed
To
your
make
family,
ends meet.
right?
Yeah.
To make ends meet. So that's what happened. So and then there's been other exodus of Assyrians coming here
But
with the
didn't they
war.
tell you the story? You know, if you had gone to them at that time and said, "I want to move back to Iraq," their hair would have stood on end. It's just, son, are you crazy? We
Well,
worked to get out of that place, and you want to go back? Well, it's a changed time now.
there
It's a
are people
new.
going back.
I know there are
The
people going
problem
back.
with northern Iraq now,
It's just like Iran is very.
you have the Kurdish people that are in northern Iraq are trying to take over all the Assyrian. They've pretty much taken over all the Assyrian lands, and I don't know right
Don't
now.
mention JoJo in here. That guy that buffs cars on a used car lot in Los Angeles. Don't
Uh,
mention him in here and puts himself up as a high
Iraq is a
roller.
very dangerous place now because you have the Shia, which are with
Yeah,
Iran.
the Shia and
Okay, with
the
Iran's
yeah
influence. Then you have the Sunnis,
Sunnis, which are
which
the
are the ones from the Saudi
Saudi
Arabian
Arabian.
and
Yes,
Saddam's clan influence, and then you have the Kurds are in the north, which
right.
they took over
Turkish.
all the Assyrian
Yeah,
lands, and Turkey hates them.
right.
It's a huge mess over there.
Heated towels.
It's three pieces.
Well, there is a heater in the bathroom, but I'm just afraid if he turns it on, he won't forget to turn it off, and that'll cost me more of a fortune around here.
But my aunt in Arkansas loves Lebanon. Okay, and she's been to
Yeah,
Lebanon
it's like the
several times.
Paris of the Middle East, right?
And exactly, and so Lebanon is a very interesting country.
Yeah, Beirut.
Beirut, exactly. And I think it's an interesting place to go. That's on my
It's a very
radar.
liberal place,
Very
right?
liberal place, yeah. But there are towns in the Lebanon that are Muslim that they say that it's not safe to go to. So, uh, but I just think that what's interesting about Rosie, like I said, will she get out of her rut, or will she stay in that? And no
Well,
offense,
haven't I already proven that I'm out of the rut? You
you
know?
have, but the
Am I
thing
looking forward to future travels? Yeah, I want to get the band done so that can
exactly
get on the road. Yeah.
now, from my opinion, watching Rosie for 5 years, okay, like I said, there's been Reno and Vegas have been two places that she has. That's her
Yeah,
thing.
because I've been a worker bee. I mean,
And
how far can I go? I can't.
you can't
I couldn't
exactly
take off 3 months and just
because you were
bolt.
working exactly.
Yeah, I was
So
lucky. I was able to take
uh,
off, 3 weeks with Jen to do a
to do
21-day
exactly.
travels. Yeah.
So my opinion is just this. I'm just going to say this: if uh, Rosie's already conquered China, pretty much all of China, but we're talking domestic. If Rosie O'Kelly can avoid going
I
to
don't know,
Reno and
Patricia.
Vegas,
Yeah.
she's out of her rut. That's just my opinion as a viewer,
But I
watcher,
think
fan.
that you should see
Uh,
Reno
okay.
because you haven't seen it. And then you can compare Reno and Las Vegas, and you can see Reno used to be a high and mighty,
High and mighty, okay.
big time
Right.
city. That's where gambling started in Nevada, okay? And then the divorce capital of America,
All
big
that
time,
happened,
big
exactly.
industry, okay? And then it all degraded.
That's interesting to see, yeah. I mean, but like I said, Rosie's got her
I mean, I'm a
routine.
respecter of culture. I'm not going to go, I'm not going to say I hate Islam and that kind of, I'm a respecter of all religions. I don't like persecution of people for their religious beliefs. I understand I can't travel to Iraq. I could never go to a place like that. And that's kind of sad, but that's the reality. I have to respect their laws and their cultures and all that kind of stuff.
I think this is the first year in Rosie's life, and even in my life, that we went to places that we've never been before. So That's my definition of getting out of a rut. Doing something that you never did, and then you know. But again, like I said, when you get to Rosie's age, I don't blame her.
Can't
She-
think of juice there.
I,
Kicking a goat head around.
so
Oh, shit.
so
I'm sorry, Marshall.
so
There's
so
so much that's barbaric about the Middle East.
so Julie Army Mom, right now, it's a question for you. You've been watching us
shit.
every day. When are you gonna get out of?
I friggin' love Julie Army.
When is she gonna get out of your rut? When are you gonna come down to Tijuana and have some tequila?
Well, maybe
and
we'll
have
be
some tacos
maybe we'll be able to meet her in Tennessee or whatever.
in Memphis,
over there.
Tennessee. But
I mean,
my goal for 2020 is getting myself out of a rut and showing Rosie.
But I think you love Mexico because you felt a society whose values are different than America at this time.
Exactly.
You know.
And the freedom that we have there with women and with the adult industry and
Yeah, I know that cute kitty. Yeah. Yeah.
In other words, as a metaphor.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Gigi Gorgeous almost got arrested in Dubai for being trans. Exactly. I mean, I'm not going to be the one to push the envelope. I got to respect people's laws and rules. I mean, you got to understand there's a lot of the world haven't been overseas for a long time. They don't share America's values.
The United Arab Emirates there in Dubai, there's a lot of people that are trans that go there.
No, it's in Dubai. She got held at the airport for a long time.
Who?
Gigi Gorgeous.
Is she
a trans woman? Yeah. She's a damn sight better looking than I am, and I'm just saying she ran into all kinds of.
Does she have a YouTube channel?
Yeah, big time YouTube channel.
Is she on here now? Gigi? Who?
That's it, Roxy.
Is she on here now? Oh
no, she wouldn't be on my chat. Shoot, they kicked her out of there. Yeah, there's zero. That's right, Poppy J. Zero drinking, zero adult industry in the Middle East. I think Marshall would be hightailing it out of there like his butt was on fire after a month in the Middle East.
Well, you know what I heard?
He'd be like, "Man, are you kidding me?" He'd be calling Drury, and Drury'd be like, "Yeah, I told you it's all like over there. You gotta understand, Marshall. This is America. You got all you want here. Why you go over to Iraq? You must be out of your mind."
You know what I heard in 2003?
Yeah.
When the government fell in 2003, people were telling me that it was complete freedom in Iraq. There was brothels, adult bookstores.
In Iraq?
In Iraq.
At what era?
When the government fell in 2003, from 2003 to 2004, there was the most unlimited freedom in Iraq.
Well, I don't doubt that. There's an immediate. It's like a spring that gets released.
Exactly. So I think the Middle East might have a lot of freedom, like Morocco. That I've heard about.
I agree. Morocco. I think Marshall, if he was in Iraq, Brandon, he would immediately feel impinged by the regulations of Islam as well as the cultural restrictions on nightlife and drinking. And I just think, you'd be like, oh, but I like to go to the tea. I like to drink the tea and go to the things like that. There's 30-minute showers in Iraq. That's right.
I think, okay, let me put it this way, okay? I would probably live my life in Tijuana. And then maybe before I know that I'm going to die, I would just go fly to Iraq and go to an Assyrian family and say, you know what? I'm ready to die. Let me sit here and have some tea, some yogurt, some lamb, some fresh bread out of the tandoor oven.
That's fine. I'd enjoy
that. Now
I'm
done.
Yeah.
Let me die where I came from.
I would enjoy that.
In other words, Iraq would be a place where I don't want to be
pitched off a 6-story building, and.
Well, I know where I'm going to die, and I know where I'm going to live. Tijuana is the closest paradise. out over the border, and by hook or by crook, I'm gonna make it there somehow, some way. I'm gonna get there. That's my prize, and
Here's another disenfranchised dickhead. Let's see. Let me remove this guy.
Rosie, what's your plan in your life? What are you gonna do? What are you gonna? Where are you gonna
Travel a
retire at?
lot. I want to travel a lot.
Where are you
I
gonna
want to
retire?
enjoy life. I don't know where I'm going to retire. Probably right here.
Right here in the.
Yeah. Could you ever imagine me really retiring? I mean, everybody thinks Rosie's on the go, 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 go
I
constantly.
see you retiring in
But
Hong Kong.
I've seen my health kind of catch up with me the last
Really?
year. I mean, knees and like being on that boat yesterday was the price I paid for that. I was telling Jenny at 1 a.m. in the morning when she's tending to me and commiserating with me at 1 a.m. in the morning because this pain was so unbelievable. I was ready to go to the ER.
Wow.
That how do I tell the boss I can't do those fishing trips anymore? I can't stand on my feet for 10
10
hours,
hours in the
you
cold
know.
with the
But I
wind
can't
blowing.
do it because then it hurts his fun,
His
you
fun,
know,
yeah.
and all of that. Yeah,
I
you
mean,
get bored. Yeah, there you go, random trucker. Nice to see you, by the way. You need to come to beautiful. I love St. Augustine. St. Augustine. I'd love to be there, Coach. I
he's on the
have
road.
relations. My family's from Galway Bay in very southern part of Ireland. There,
Gerald's on the road right now. He's in
I
Dunwoody,
know he
Georgia.
is. I know. That's great. Yeah, health replaces money when you get to 60 exactly. So, I mean, I'm still
And
getting it done, but you feel it.
yeah, yeah.
So yeah, that's why I want to travel very heavily. But I wouldn't be doing the van build if I didn't actually enjoy and love doing that type of craft work and things on that. So it's not, I'm not being blackmailed. Nobody has anything held over my head. I've done as bad a crap as anybody has done. Let's see. It's not for us to decide, Goofy Girl. That's the problem. YouTube doesn't demand that people get off of YouTube. Yeah, Brandon, can you please unblock Robert Wilbur? Um, it's okay. I mean, that's water under the bridge. Oh, you know Galway? I'm from Wicklow. Nice. I think that's the key that doesn't sit well with people is YouTube doesn't care about your financial status and stuff like that. They don't care if you're working or not. I think a lot of people come at it from the issue of caring about the long term, thinking about how you would provide yourself. And I think that we have to recognize there's certain people in the world that fly by the seat of their pants. The Vincent Van Goghs of the world, the people that just adventurers. And there's so many people in van communities that leave without a dime in their pocket and just hit the road, and just
Right,
because they'd like the adventure of living close to the edge,
right.
and that kind of stuff. Oh,
Yeah.
unblock Robert Wilbur, please. So, if you don't mind,
Yeah, we're
that's what I
looking
think. See,
down.
YouTube is just at odds with life here. If he helped out at a charity shop or opened one, I would really respect him. Well, I'm kind of hoping that Marshall will. I'm not going to tell anybody what to do, but I would hope for the holidays that he would come to find out that the joy is giving, not receiving, and it'll be up to him to do
Rosie, I think
something to do something for the holiday time to put other people first and do that. I can't force people to do that because their heart would not be right in it. But he
I
might say, "I'd like to do a project, or I'd like to take a night. Let's go buy some blankets and go buy some gloves, and let's go distribute some stuff
I
with a
think
good
I
heart."
think my definition of YouTube is sharing your life and living your life the way that you see fit. And if you live your life uh, and let the way other people want you to live, you're not going to be happy. I don't care if it's your family. I don't care if it's your friends. I don't care if it's all these people on YouTube that watch you. If ultimately, if you don't do what you want to do, you're not going to be happy. And I've always lived my life the way that I want to live, not the way that other people want me to live. Sometimes people don't agree with you. They're not going to chuck and jive with you, but that's just the way life is. At
See,
the
I'm
end of the
I'm I'm kind of conflicted because on the one hand,
day, you can't.
marshals everything that's wrong with American society today, the lack of, traditional work ethic. But then on the other hand, he's like, the American freedoms to pursue your own happiness. Now, I do wish that the safety nets weren't there so that when people make that choice to freewheel it, in other words, to go through life without a net, right, and just live the life, that they don't have the social net to fall back on. It would encourage less people to pursue that kind of thing, and I think more people would work for the fear of failure or something like that. But like I said, this is America. This is YouTube, and I guess a year or two ago, I stopped really investing in what decisions that Marshall made in his future. And I started looking at the positive, like, yeah, I'd like to travel. I'd like to go to Mexico, and I'd like to see some stuff. And I don't want to go alone. I'd like to do some travel. I began to see some of the upside of that. Okay, do I worry about Marshall's future? Yeah, but it's like, would I rather see him happy and living a dream or just being miserable doing something? So I'm very torn.
I think YouTube is
I'm
all it
very
is.
torn about things.
All
It
YouTube
tears me
is.
apart.
All YouTube
You're welcome.
is.
Good night, Lavender.
All YouTube
My baked
is
potato,
a.
baby.
All YouTube has been for me is a social experiment. I never knew that I would get this far doing YouTube and done the things that I've done and
Nice
accomplished
to
the things
know,
that I've
Gerald. Thank you.
accomplished the things that I've accomplished. Now, again, I'll tell Rosie, for 5 years I could have been a 9 to 5 ham and egg slave, uh, and I probably wouldn't have that much to my name anyway, and I probably wouldn't have accomplished that much anyway in 5 years. Why? Because most of the jobs out there are minimum wage. And I don't care if you work one job, two jobs, three jobs, how far are you going to get, especially if you rent and have a place? So the point is of life, and my philosophy of life is, it's not how much you work and you pound the pavement and pound your head away at and do the 12, 14-hour days. It's your cost of living, your happiness, your health. That's what it boils down to. So, in other words, YouTube has been a social experiment for me for almost 5 years now. I didn't know what I could achieve until I applied myself and got as far as I have. And you know something? In the beginning, I didn't believe in myself. I didn't have faith, but I tried. Sometimes I failed, sometimes I won, sometimes I lost. But you know something?
Here's a great question.
What's that?
Finish your sentence. You know something?
But you know something? The bottom line is that there's a time when things come to an end. So um, uh, this might be my last year on YouTube.
How
This
you
might
doing,
be my
Jory?
last year of van life, and
What's up, Jory?
this might be the last year of my run. Because the bottom line is, everything has a beginning and everything has an end. And so
Yeah, my
there's been since 2014 until now. Look at all the people that have came and went on YouTube, and I've always tried to say Amanda May is one
I
of the
give Jory
examples.
the yeah. I got Jory in here.
What's going
Here's a
on,
good
Jory?
question.
Yeah.
Lynn's been banging some great questions. Marshall, do you see yourself falling in love with someone ever.
No,
You know?
never.
Okay.
Never ever. But I'm just saying, if you look at, and I try to use Amanda May as an example, because Amanda May, me and her started at the same time. She got thousands of dollars from people, and now she's gone. There is no Amanda May.
You could be a test person for a
there-
lab.
There's no RV. So, yeah, you know what I was? You know what Elvis Travels is? Elvis Travels. You can call me a tesseract of YouTube. You can call me a test dummy of YouTube.
Oh shit!
Now, I was put there, and then things happen, but you don't know what's going to happen to the dummy and the crash test until you crash. But the bottom line is, though, I was put in that position. I applied myself. I had my ups. I had my downs. But
I think we got to visit the test dummy memorial crash site.
Exactly. Now, Rosie O'Kelly can say, pursue the happiness, life, liberty, and happiness, America.
I'm a believer in that. I stood up against Dave the fisherman, and I said I don't believe.
And then she can also say, I have a lot of respect for a 9-to-5 slave ham and egger. She can play both sides, but the bottom line is, at the end of the day, is that
That's funny, Scottish.
how do you rate Elvis Travel's success? The biggest person that Rosie vouched for, that raised thousands of dollars for a fact, is Amanda May. We all know that. There is no more Amanda May channel. There's no Amanda May motorhome. There's no Amanda May RV. But guess what? I started organically by myself, all on my lonesome. And I reached this point, 5 years, over almost 5,000 videos, 5 million views. And I consider myself a success on YouTube. You know why? I've cemented my legacy. I've made a name for myself. I'm a name on YouTube. People talk about me, bottom line. And so I consider myself a success. Now, anybody out there that's a troll, anybody, I don't care if you're a man, woman, transgender, this is a challenge that I have for you. Just for YouTube. Let's forget about 9-to-5 ham and egging. Let's forget about Super Chat and GoFundMe and PayPal and all that. Let's forget about all that. This is a challenge that I have to any troll on YouTube. One simple challenge. If you can get 5 million views and 4,600 videos on YouTube, okay, and 7,300 subscribers, and not counting all the thousands of parody videos that are on me that have another millions and millions of views, if you can get to my level on YouTube, okay, I'll get a job tomorrow as a 9-to-5 ham and egger. Tomorrow I'll get a job at McDonald's as a 9-to-5 ham and egger, and I'll say, you know what? You guys are right, I should be a 9-to-5 ham and egger. But a lot of people talk. A lot of people have a lot of talk, but they can't walk the walk. They can't match my numbers in popularity and fame and millions of views and they can't match anything. But they have a lot of talk, but there's no walk behind that talk.
No, Patricia, go ahead, finish.
That's the reality that I have.
Yeah, let me
For
ask you.
anybody who criticizes me, get to my level first. Get to my level first, or where I'm at on YouTube. To anybody. I don't care if you're a woman in the drama community, anybody. And then I'll say, you know what? Now you got to my level. I'll do what you say. That's my challenge to anybody out there talking, anybody saying anything about me.
Welcome back, Coop. Let me
That's
let me
my
see
answer.
one more thing here. Patricia said, "Why is he contemplating? He's not going to sell the van. Yeah, he's not going to sell the van, Patricia. I mean, now he's looked down the road at the van building. I could never sell this. This should be in the Henry Ford Museum in Dearborn, Michigan.
I'll sell the van to Rosie. I'll sell the Lisa Marie, and I'll go straight to Tijuana. And I don't care if I last there a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, and I can do it in a heartbeat. You know why?
Well, what's the price?
Well, that's an undisclosed thing. But let me tell you something. Everything's got a price.
I got my checkbook.
Everything's got a price in this world. Even the Lisa Marie. Everything and everybody's got a price. We're all slaves. We're all bottom paid for. And that's the bottom line.
It's an undisclosed price.
Now, somebody like Rubber
I
Wilbur
think
can
the
say,
price is going up by the week now.
yeah, somebody like Rubber Wilbur can say, Elvis, I got more views than you on YouTube. Yeah, you might
Well,
have more views than me.
there's a certain provenance to that
But
vehicle.
Rubber Wilbur,
you know?
Rubber Wilbur, how many people know who you are?
Oh, Marshall, please let's not go down this road
I'm
with
just saying.
Brandon. Please, I mean, I enjoy both of you. I don't want to see a fight on here.
I'm not. I'm just saying. How many people really know who you are? Are you a big star?
Well,
Are you larger than
he
life?
doesn't do it in a sense of public, but he has.
He
Good
wanted to be
success
larger
on
than life
YouTube.
when I was at Amanda
Yeah, but he
Main
has.
because
But that was then. This is now.
was the one.
He does his talking through YouTube videos.
Yeah, he
now.
wanted to take the spotlight when me and Amanda May met, two big names on YouTube, and come in right into the middle of the hangout, and that's why I left the hangout with Amanda May. You are a person that wants to be Elvis Travels, Rubber Rover. The reality is, you can't, you never will be. That's a fact. Look at the numbers.
Well, okay,
Look, when you have
Marshall,
a person,
I'm not here. Please, I'm not here to
I'm just
argue
saying.
for your channel. I'm just saying you
I'm
both enjoy doing. You've had some success. Brandon's having success. Can't I just say good luck to you, both of you guys, and be done? It doesn't matter to me.
I'm just saying what happened with Amanda May and him coming on the hangout. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, I've just one that's always kind of enjoyed Brandon on the.
He's a
he
person
doesn't
that always
troll in
wants to
his-
have the moment. He's always
Well-
challenged me, man to man, on YouTube. He's always been a challenge to me. He's always wants to be.
Yeah, I don't want to get on to
And-
this.
yeah.
I've got I've got about 10 more minutes here, so I need to just end it on a plus note. I don't ever get into peeing battles on YouTube about views and subs and stuff because at the end of the day, it's a small thing in a great world. You know what I mean? There's an enormous world out here that this stuff doesn't amount to a hill of beans. You're honest. You say I look at YouTube as a business. That's fine. I can't be negative about that. You've thrown your dice. You said this is what it is to me. That's fine.
And all I'm saying is, I'm not hating on Rubber Wilbur or Brandon or whatever he wants to call himself. But one thing is, when me and Amanda May met, it was our moment on YouTube. It was two big time people meeting on YouTube. And I'm just saying, you should have let us have our moment instead of being the third wheel. Have a little bit of just respect for a fellow YouTuber content creator. There's a time where you've got to step down off the stage. That was our stage. And that's all I'm saying. No hate or ill will that I have towards you. But as a YouTuber, content creator, fellow YouTuber, there's a time where you have to let people get on stage and don't get on the stage. Don't be the third wheel. Let people have their moment. That's all I'm saying. And that moment you took away from me. I left the hangout that night because of you.
Take care, Gerald.
That was a big hangout, a big time in my YouTube career. That was a turning point.
Well,
and that's all I'm saying.
I look
just my
ahead
opinion.
at the fun times, and I'm not. People will tell you on YouTube, I'm not one to ever look. I like facing forward in life. I don't like going backwards in life and rehashing things. But when I think about travels and adventures, that gets me excited now.
Right.
Panel chats don't get me excited on that.
Well, it's all about the stage. When we have a panel chat, if it's me, Amanda May, and Reb Wilbur, we're sharing the stage on YouTube. But when you go out and you do content and travel, that's a whole different ballgame. And no disrespect to Reb Wilbur or Brandon. The question is this. There's two ways to run YouTube. Either you run a panel and you have egos colliding, or you make content. You have to choose a path. You can't really do both. It's one or the other.
Thank you very much, Dreama. Thank you, Dreama Coltrane.
I think Rosie's chose her path clearly.
Is that Dreama? I hope I'm saying that.
There's two ways to run this. Either you run a panel or you make content. And I think Rosie, maybe it is. Maybe she's changed. Maybe she's not going to maybe she is going to be a traveler, or maybe she'll go back to
Yeah,
panels.
I'm
I
more
don't know.
interested in travel. You know, like
Yeah,
I just deleted 3 million
3
views worth
million
of
views. Yeah,
videos on my channel.
she's got a big decision to
Why?
make. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean it's not the way forward for me. You know what I'm saying? As you said, I think I have more future on an RV travel channel, and it's fun and people enjoy going along with that.
yeah.
Thank you very much, Farmer. I appreciate it. I hope people check that stream out. Anyway, we got about 200 people watching here at
Right.
1 a.m. I don't usually say that, but I wanted to say thank you to you guys. You want to be back on the van build tomorrow, so I'm suggesting a good night's sleep to get an early
Oh,
start
okay.
tomorrow.
Yeah, yeah.
Tomorrow's
Exactly.
design day.
Well,
It's a day when you get to speak and say, "This is how high I want the bed to be. This is where I'd like this to be." It's not going to be on me. You got to make those decisions. I don't want you. You're the kind of person that'll go forward and say, Rosie messed up my van because the bed's too high. You got to do those
right.
decisions for me. Some of Georgie's turkey dogs. Anyway, he's eating pretty good the last couple of days around there. Anyway, any final words tonight, or
Yeah. My final
before I
words
close it out?
tonight is that it's a time. The
I
question is
don't even
this.
remember Kirsten.
The question is this. It's a time of change for America. It could be a time of change for Rosie O'Kelly. I can't control her path or her future. All I can do is give my advice. And I don't know if she'll take it or she won't. I'd like to take her advice because I look at her as an authority figure in my life. I look at her as a person who has wisdom. But all I can say is that the student will always learn from the teacher. The child will always learn from the parent. And I'm always learning from Rosie every day. And that's the way that I see Rosie and regard her. And I will take her advice. And uh, all I
But
can do in 20,
I've never one to issue
yeah.
ultimatums and tell people you have to do this. But you also got a good idea how to install a garbage disposal.
But all my goal is in 2020 is I know that I will take Rosie's guidance and wisdom because she is older than me, she is wiser than me. But if I can, my goal in 2020 is if I can open up her mind here and get her out of her routine rut
Bzz, bzz.
and get her to do something that she never did before, and and
What if I become like
then
Elvis?
then I have exactly.
Well, don't worry, Rosie. You are.
Then I believe I've achieved my goal for 2020 because Elvis Travels already knows who
No,
he is
Missy.
and where he's going. But the question is, will Elvis Travels be able to steer Rosie O'Kelly into a different path, not by coercing, not by
Thank you,
force,
Poppy.
but by convincing her that the path of the king's life is the way of joy and happiness in her life? That's the question. Will she steer into the king's path? Or will she?
I will say this. I
Yeah,
had an epic time traveling with you with zero drama,
right,
except what came up on the road and stuff like
right,
that. I found you a good person to travel with, flexible as in terms of things to do, and open to
right.
suggestions on things. And yeah, it was a good time. You know, do I worry about your future? Yes, I'll always worry about your future. I think you're rolling the dice, but if I guess I figure our country's so great that if the time comes when it does collapse, or if it does a collapse on YouTube, you'll still land on your feet somehow or another. So maybe that should give me a little bit of solace here. I don't know. Do I worry? Of course I do. I'm like a mother figure. Of course I worry every night.
You know what
Yeah, yeah,
I will
yeah.
say this in the end. We are all going to go through the same fire. The question is, how will we come out? because
burnt
the
to a crisp.
because let me tell you something, the bottom is about to fall out, folks.
Anyway, guys, I'm going to say goodnight here. Thank you to my wonderful moderators, Scottish Juice. It was good to see you tonight. I don't know if you're on here, Scottish. You're doing a wonderful job. I will just say again, I don't ever tell my moderators how to run the side chat. So, I try to keep things fun and positive and let people have their say. I know I'm not everybody's cup of tea. I know that. But I do try to keep things funny and positive, and I'm not out here to win hearts and minds. I'm not here to have Elvis's redemption road. That was 2015. This 2019. Everything at his age is on Marshall now. It's not on me. So thank you very much to everybody. Missy, you're always welcome in the chat, and everybody else. Good time. Wendy Johnson. Well, I think so. So we shall see. Anyway, everybody, thanks so much for being along and making it a very fun. Thank you very much, Patricia, for all of your support. And my newest moderator, Scottish Saren, love you, honey. Still waiting on those pictures. So have a good night, everybody. Just joking. That'll be in a parody vid tomorrow. All right, everybody. Have a wonderful, wonderful night. And let's give everybody a big woo.